Welcome to our 201st episode of Gorilla Radio. 199 more than we expected to do.
Yep, definitely what
No,
I expected to do.
not the best introduction. Definitely 200 has taken the cake. It took us 200 episodes to actually get a good introduction.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I like how you bring it in, man. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's better than the old are we on? Are we live? And,
Mic check.
welcome to number. And sometimes it gets messed up, but it's good.
Yeah. So we're back. Day number 2 of talking. We're going to go over a couple semi-states. We're going to start with Newcastle and then go over Evansville, right?
Results?
North to south.
Man, I think we should start with Evansville first. You know, our favorite Avon parent, she requested, she said we're going too late. And he started these at 6 o'clock. So I know she gets up early. We can start Evansville. So she asked nicely.
But only because of Lauren, not the.
I didn't say that, man. You said it, not me.
You said your favorite Avon parent.
I know.
So let's talk about. Let's see. Text.
We got to do the results.
Yeah, I'm going to the placement matches. Yeah, placement matches. See if
at Evansville first.
Yeah, I got it pulled up on my end.
All right.
Where's all our friends? They haven't even joined us yet.
They didn't know. If you started late, last time you didn't know that Kevin Whitehead was on with the best intro of all time.
Yes.
I listened to it 10 times today.
So 106 had the Mooresville sweep.
Yep.
Ducking over Bridge. Brown was third over Ash.
Ducking over Brown in the semis is a big win for Trayvon. I know he had lost him a couple times in a row. Lost him at Team State, kind of getting over that hump.
Yeah, Russell and Rowe were all well at the right time. Was it Ash over? Ash was over. Let's just bring up the brackets. That'd be easier. Ash over Tom Wynn 1-0 in the quarterfinal or in the ticket round. All the other ticket round matches were blowouts.
Man, that's a tough. I thought there were some really good matches there. Huge win, and not to Leo Oatman of Switzerland County with a huge win over Jackson Jean in the first round. No Kevin tonight. No.
We do have the manager of the Butler McDonald's coming on later.
Talking about when the McRib's coming back.
Yes. they have more than just McRib and Butler.
Man.
McRat.
I mean, kind of similar to what we said to Fort Wayne, the top 4 at 13. Fall, major, and fall, or tech fall.
Yeah. Is it interesting looking at the pick'ems, and what did I say? 24 people had 50 out of 56 guys right, which is crazy. You think you're getting 50, you're going to be pretty high, and you're maybe top 20.
Yeah, that's kind of what me and Sprunger were talking about. He said, dude, I think I killed Evansville. I said, surprise. Joe just texted me and said everyone killed Evansville.
Yeah.
It's because we talk about it the most. So thank you guys for tuning in and listening to our thoughts.
Yes.
Jackson Houston, Bell tech fought him, and Thrasher tech fought Ogle to get to the finals, and Bell by fall. Bell's pretty good. I'm sure we talked about how good he was last night in the top part of the state weights.
Yep. He ran through the field there. Going to be interesting to see how he goes this week. 120. Revan Dickman not getting paid by the hour. 31-second pin over Meyer. That stood out.
Yeah.
That was and then obviously Meyer lost a 2-0 match to Malone. That's a tough 4. We talked about that obviously last night. Yeah, just a heck of a weight class. Gals over Malone 1-0. Gals over Aiden Woods in the ticket round. That was a close, what we will call a close match, because it seemed like a lot of the ticket round matches were blowouts.
Yeah. I know Brownsburg doesn't get a ton of matches. They're probably 25 matches a year normally, give or take, you think?
Yeah, they are not a big they don't care about, they want quality matches. I guarantee if they get about 25-ish matches, they'll about 20 are high quality.
Man, Dickman has to have a ton of falls too. I don't know if he's going to go 100 falls just because they don't wrestle the number of matches. But man, I bet the majority of his wins are by fall.
Yeah, he might be one that would be close to getting 100 falls. I mean, even though he missed a little portion of this season, if only we knew someone that would be able to tell us that. So maybe, well, I'll send Airsman a text.
Yeah, appreciate it. Make sure he's probably asleep.
Yeah.
Don't go to sleep, Kyle. We got some stuff to rake tonight.
Yes. Yeah.
Little foreshadowing.
We'll go into our rankings after we go over this. 126. Nate Rio looking pretty good. Had a 4-1 match over Brown. Dominic Brown making a return trip after making it as a freshman
out of the East Chicago semi-state.
Yeah, he's going. He's you know, we got to find someone that's going to qualify out of all 4 semi-states. That'd be pretty impressive.
It actually would.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably could. I mean, you got some like areas where you can. I mean, you could definitely get Evansville, Indy, you know, the region. I mean, Fort Wayne's a little bit more spread out. You maybe go to the Muncie area.
Yeah, you go to Muncie area, Kokomo. You don't have to go too far.
Oh, yeah, you can go to Kokomo.
Yeah.
Rio over Henderson in the semis there, 10-0. He beat Henderson 3 times this year.
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe 4 times this year because his other loss is to Gendris. So I'm sure he'll be happy to see him on the opposite side of the bracket.
Yeah. Henderson over Haynes, as we said, 5-4 first round match.
Brutal. That's a tough one.
Yeah. 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 That's a tough draw. 132. Oh shoot, I messed that up on the I gotta fix that.
Hockaday, good day. Went tech fall, major in the final over Eddie Goss.
Yeah, he looked real good. Shoot, sorry, something just.
Yeah, Anthony Zaransky over Gage Rutan. That was one we kind of circled. I think Zaransky's record kind of deceiving. He's a real tough freshman. Goss tech fault him in the semis. Goss over John Orman again by major, a good one. Hockaday tech fault Kirchner and Schaefer over Kissinger by fall. Hockaday tech fault Schaefer, which pretty amazing. Obviously, Jake's really good, and then Schaefer over Zaransky in the 3rd and 4th place match.
I had the media guide is getting really close to being done, and I remembered I didn't change where they are now for Ty Henderson, so I figured I needed to do that. Hockaday looking real good and in a good position. 138.
I mean, and I think the finals of that one's probably to do last, right? Peyton Richards, we talked about last night, over Hunter Bannett, 7-0. Reynolds was not messing around with Nate Bryan, it looks like. 30-second fall. He was not getting mixed.
No.
Unless Bryant went for the mixer.
Yeah.
Justin Thornton over Armin Pratt.
Amron,
Pratt, sorry. And then Schaefer tech fault Chef in the ticket round there. Chef with a 5-3 win. First match over Caleb Kirkpatrick. Schaefer 10-3 over Thornton. Reynolds with a fall over Peyton Richard. And then in probably one of the better finals that they said, Reynolds 7-4 over Schaefer. I know we talked about it a lot last night, but I didn't think the match at Team State was as far as people kind of made it out to be. And I thought Braylon Reynolds wrestled really well at Carnahan. Maybe like the result with Mendoza doesn't really show that at the end, but for a period, it was pretty tight. So
yeah, no, he's wrestling real well and put himself in a good position. 144, Tommy Gibbs ended a Little B's run in the first round. Then teched his way there, teched Kessinger, and then major, and then a decision over Hornsby. Hornsby over Klein. Let's see, Cohen Long over Matthew Schroeder.
Yeah,
Hornsby punching his ticket.
So. Klein kind of had a tough road there. Keegan Joachim, did I say it faster? Yeah. We had talked about how he had been wrestling 4-3 in the opening round, And Landon Hornian was a returning state qualifier from a couple years ago, and he ends up beating 7-5. So congrats to Chase Klein. He was one of the unranked wrestlers that qualified for the state finals.
Bunch just take it the hard way. Probably one of the hottest wrestlers in the state, and then a state qualifier.
Yep.
150 Seth Syra over Parker Reynolds for the third week in a row and fourth out of 5 weeks in a row they've wrestled.
Yeah, he got him in the duel. Not in the duel. He got him at conference. Got him at the sectional, the regional, and now the semi-state.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's looking to do Parker's probably looking at trying to do the Hector Mendez. Like someone needs to knock. He needs an Andy Ole on the other side.
No, it wasn't Corbett. Who was the Jimtown? Jimtown had 189. I have the thing up. Never mind. Was it Jimtown? Conrath. Yeah, the Conrath. Conrath couldn't beat Corp, right?
Yeah.
And so then then Corp got beat by Crown Point guy.
Shrewsbury?
Yeah. Shrewsbury. Yeah. Or no, that's Nick won that year. What? No, it was that wasn't Corp. It was Corp got beat by Shrewsbury.
That's Hawkins' like cousin or Bill's nephew.
No, Steven Stahl. It was Stahl.
Stahl, yeah.
Steven Stahl couldn't beat Conrath. But Shrewsbury beat Conrath. That's who it is. I knew it was an Elkhart Memorial guy.
Syra wrestling really well the entire season. Obviously those battles with Parker, they want to run it back on their lights, I'm sure. Again, talking about people that are on a roll. I mean, his single loss to the team state, he went fall 45, fall 40 seconds, tech fall over undefeated Alex Smith, and then a win in the finals. Alex Smith went fall. I bet he's a guy that's close to 100 pins too.
He has like 46 already this year. He better be. He's halfway there.
Halfway.
He's not getting paid by the hour.
Reynolds over Lincoln Cooper, and then Cooksey 1-0 over Sean Breedlove. I know we didn't have a ton of like tight matches in the ticket round. I know at EC we didn't, but 1-0 is about as tight as it gets.
Yeah.
Cooksey's tough, man. We get to see him at Al Smith. Had a real exciting Al Smith, not this year, the year before. This year too, but he had a real good match with Zara Walker. 57.
7. Go ahead.
Man, I was surprised by the result of the final. I know Stitch has been wrestling really well. Obviously, he had tech falls all day, 15-0, 17-2, 15-0, 15-0. You think of numbers like that, obviously you're rolling. But I didn't see they said every time you touch your head, you drink. You guys got to work tomorrow, though. You better be careful. But that's I thought those used to be pretty tight matches, or maybe they have been, but it's a good win for Stitz. He's looked good the whole year. Obviously we've seen him at him and Staples at Al Smith. If they can run that one back, that was a really good match.
Yeah. Day
4 won over Ratliff, sudden victory. Last year's semi-state champ. And then Stitz over Dressler on the bottom part. We talked about Dressler over Fender, Stitz over Sommers, Day over Stancombe. From Bedford, North Orange, we talked about those guys, the Stonecutters, old Stonecutters.
Nice. Yes. Then Ratliff 3-2 over Bonenberger from Evansville North. So actually some close matches there in the ticket round. Camden Bauman over William Vanderloo Garten at 165.
Tech fall too.
Yeah.
The very underrated Cam Bauman.
Yeah.
Talk about guys that are on fire, and obviously like he ended up not winning the semi-state, but the last couple of weeks that he's put together have been really good. He's a dangerous Friday night opponent.
Mm-hmm. Jesus Lopez over Elijah Geyer. Good win for him there, punching his ticket there. Evan Rowdy Bush, 52, 30, 30. Oh, he actually did go 6 minutes against Lopez. So I had to get some extra work in.
He didn't even go 6 minutes his first 3 matches. So
yeah,
he didn't even go to the second period in his first 3 matches.
Yeah. So he's looking really good. Griffin Larson punching his ticket, beating a good Cooper Collins. So
Yeah, avenging a loss too, right?
yeah, it was one of his losses and major decisions. So pretty good match there. Jesus Lopez runs it to the finals. 175. Coy Bender runs it to the finals. Julian Weems wrestling really well right now. Actually didn't pin the last two guys. Got it.
Yeah,
So he decided to get a
we,
couple 6 minute matches.
we should
Avenge the
phone
loss
Dustin
to
in for this one, right?
yeah.
He was
Avenge the loss to Terry.
he was telling me that I was too high on Weems, and we were picking sides.
Yep. And I'm sure we will gloat this weekend.
Always, always. I want to remember the wins, fellas.
Yeah.
Terry over Halet 7-6. I knew that was gonna be a pretty tight one. Barrow 1-0 over Fuller. That's about, like I said, that's as tight as it can come. So sophomore from North Posey trying to follow in his dad's footsteps.
Yep.
And then Coy Bender over Hank the Tank.
Oh,
There she is.
yeah.
Both the Terrys getting through.
It's always,
Terry
it's
ended
always a
up
good day when the Terrys get through.
Terry ended up third. Williams ended up champ.
190. Gunnar Henry over Sam Howard. Howard
Gunner got
avenging
pushed a
last year's
little bit.
ticket round match.
Yeah, it looked like Gunner got pushed a little bit Saturday. I mean, just by the scores, obviously, I haven't watched the matches, but 11-9 with Sam Howard. And I know they said Terry got the first takedown, right?
Yep, rode him out the first period. And then Gunner kicked it up a notch, got 3 takedowns in the second period, and then one more in the third period. So he didn't mess around there. So, and then he beat Howard 11-9, 2 takedowns the first period. Gave up.
We do, John. We do remember.
Yes. Yep. Howard looked good. That's pretty impressive to avenge a ticket. I mean, that sitting on that for a year and coming out there and
I haven't watched the match. She said Noah threw Henry 3 times.
oh wow, I heard there's some pretty big mat returns for
Um,
our Evansville correspondent. So
always a fan of some big throws.
yeah, I mean, probably making Shane Sparks pretty giddy. I'll send those videos. Gunner was beating Terry going into the third period because he scored 3 takedowns in the second period.
Maybe they
So
went back and changed it. I don't know.
I mean, that's what it says on the. I'm looking at the bracket. It was 9-5.
I'm gonna go back and watch it now.
Yes, definitely will. So definitely, all 4 of those guys are pretty tough. That's a tough 4 to come out of anyway.
Man, I forgot to even say it yesterday, and it doesn't really pertain to here. When I was talking to Maggart at East Chicago, he said, the Coliseum's nice with the space. He said, but it's not as electric as the East Chicago semi-state. He said, there's just a lot more energy there. He said, so not that Maggart was throwing shade, but he gave some props to the space. He said it's just quiet. He said because it's so big, it doesn't get as loud as it did. So back to Evansville.
Man, you just want to kick a guy when he's down. Yeah. So Henry.
There.
Yeah.
Good.
Henry had a good day. 215. Caden Brewer over my guy Jet. I actually was able to watch that match a little bit. You can tell Jet's a little bit undersized at 215. Brewer's a big horse and pretty solid there.
Brewer had a good day. Tech fall, major fall.
Yeah. So in Goldsberry run into the finals, making the second trip to state. He beat a tough Cullen Floor over Grant Stewart in the ticket round.
Young guys there.
Yeah, Ethan Schrainer from Tell City, another Tell City, and was it Landon? Which one's the lower weight one? But cutting down to 75, got Schrainer in the lineup, and Schrainer punches his ticket to state. So pretty pretty selfless move there to cut down from 215, even though I know the word is he wasn't really up to 215, and now you get another friend to the state finals. That's pretty cool.
I don't know if Salas was doing some big throws at East Chicago. He definitely had some good doubles to his back. But man, no lie, Devin Kendricks ripped a headlock at the end. It was pretty good. I thought he was going to get him. Like you could hear it kind of go through the crowd, and then Caesar just calmly popped it off. But it was for a second, it was like one of those ooh. So
heavyweight, little Max Forrester had a good day. Had a pin decision in the ticket round, fall decision. So kind of a mixture of everything. Manford Osborne over Brody Clem.
Congrats to Manford. Got the bracket turned around, got himself a ticket.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You end up in a good spot and figured out a way to get there. Keenan Mowry Shields, South Putnam, punching a ticket to state, second year in a row. He's only a sophomore, so look out for him.
Keenan Mowry Shields. I guess I called him Keegan a lot last week. I apologize for that. Sometimes I just glance at it and go.
Yeah. He beat Big Ben Land of Jeffersonville. Land's had a really good career.
He has over 100 wins.
Yeah. Really good career, and unfortunately has not been able to go to state. Or did he? He didn't go to state last year, did he?
Maybe 2 years ago. I'm not sure. But either way, tough spot there. Keenan Mowry Shields, super athletic. I believe his 4 losses are all, maybe 3 of those are Forrester. So
yeah. Now he lost to Big Joe Ozadore.
We don't Anthony Popey. You got to know, man. We don't change the rankings after the sectional. He'll remain in the same spot.
Yep. We let him ride.
Let him ride.
Good.
So, team champs. Brownsburg in a runaway, 266 to 166 to Avon's 126. They were the 3 over 100. Brownsburg's pretty good. Yeah, there's a lot of talk of them winning the team breaking the team race. Me and Jason Forrester had some 3 a.m. IndianaMat posts. Someone posted, I was like, that. Someone posted the all-time record, and he's like, by my calculations, this, and I sent the link. I was like, it was like 2 years ago. He's like, but good dude, man. 176. They're gonna be right there. I mean, the state finals, anything can happen, but they got a really good squad, top to bottom. They got some guys that you assume are gonna win titles, but like we said last year, and we'll talk about it more I'm sure at the end of the show. So we don't have to talk about it now.
Okay, Newcastle. Let's see brackets. 106.
Sure.
Pretty well ranked.
Yeah, and you know what they say in East Chicago, that I'm an anti-Bulldogs guy too. So
just depends on where you are. Wherever you are, they're saying that you like the other team better.
See, that's a half empty response by Sarah. She said, "I want them to lose, not that I want someone else to win." Right?
Yeah,
that's just the negative outlook on life.
Yes, you want.
Started at 106 pounds.
You actually want Calumet to win. That's
dude. If Calumet was there, don't let them get under the lights. Don't even matter. Undefeated under the lights.
Yes.
Undefeated under the lights. What other school's undefeated under the lights?
I don't know. There's a website for that though.
Yeah, you're right. I don't have any love for Brownsburg. I'm sure all the parents say that. I'm sure Jason Forrester says that. And, Brian Bell probably says the same thing. Callie Ersman and Derek probably say the same thing. Or just one mom says the same thing. All right. Maddox over Towson by Tech Fall. Morrow over Tackett by Tech Fall. Crawl 12-2 over Colin Clark. I think that was the only match, or those 2 ranked matchups. St. Laurent over Scott, once or twice beating Scott, 4-1. Tightest tick around match there. Good season for Lucas Scott. Yep.
Yeah. Tough road there with all 4 of the top guy, 3 top guys and 1 top girl were all separated, which you couldn't plan it better because those 4 were really tough, and they were all separate regionals, came out as champs, no upsets, and no could have had some crazy draws there if someone was in the same regional. So
Yeah.
um,
Maddox over Morrow in the semis. St. Laurent over Crawl in the semis by tech fall. And then Maddox by fall in the finals. Maddox only lost on the season to Trayvon Ducking. So Maddox wrestled. We've seen him at Al Smith. Really good. Like, obviously phenomenal.
yeah, and then Curl over Morrow in the consolations. 113. Had a couple upsets here. Keegan Dressler over Nathan Reyes. It wasn't a crazy upset, 9 over 5 or 6. 10-6 there. Lincoln Parsons over Carlo Federici.
Ooh, those boys put up some points, 11-10.
Yeah. Let's see. Was it a last second? I mean, Parsons got an escape with 45 seconds to go to get that escape, to get that win. Cole Freeze unranked over Braden Head 16-3. Franklin County, the Wildcats, I believe, going to state. I think they have 2 guys.
Are they on the tech? The tech team or just Richmond Regional?
The Richmond Regional.
Holding it down.
Yep. Then Peyton Shutley, he ran it to the finals.
Dominant.
Fall. Then a 2.5 minute tech fall in the finals. He's pretty good.
He's really good. We talked about it last night. Real interesting bracket at 113.
Yep.
Parsons over Freeze at 10-3 in the third and fourth place match there.
120, Ron Colley with another champ, Blake Getz. Pretty dominant. Fall, 8-4. Lincoln, is it Lincoln? Yeah, or Caden Underwood. There's a Lincoln and Caden. Caden Underwood, North coming in with he came in with 9 losses.
Not that they could have wrestled each other Friday night, but that'd have been interesting, right?
Yeah. You knew Underwood would win.
Yeah.
John Bismeyer over Sully Frazier in the tick round, pretty big match. Ezra Phi over Porter Temples by tech fall, 22-6. That's great. That's pretty impressive there. Underwood over Ingalls. Owen Ingalls was 1-0. Good match there. So a lot of really good matches. Very surprised by the Phi over Temples by tech fall.
I think some of those matches are tough. It's one of those things like, what would you, if you're, obviously you coach at that level and you coach a lot of guys there. Are you more frustrated if you have a guy that loses 5-4 but doesn't fire off a shot, or a guy that maybe is down a couple and just starts throwing, caution the wind, try to go big? I didn't watch the match. I don't know. Maybe, Phi just put it, tagged him. But I think some of those times those results can, especially when they're 22-6 or whatever. Maybe at one point it was 10-6 and he's trying to go home run, or 11-6. Now with the 7 points, feet to back, a little tougher.
That's kind of, man. Phi had 4 takedowns in the first period.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. They must have seen something. I didn't watch the match, but then 2 more in the second period. So definitely must have seen something that they're more comfortable with him on their feet. And then Temples chose top in the third. It looked like he got some too near fall, possibly. It just said +2, but might have to go watch that match. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that you definitely, the kid that's firing. I'd rather you got fired off. You got to go out there and do something. But it's the TIG round is such a different beast. You can prepare. You can't prepare for that moment because everyone in that gym knows that your season comes down to this one match. And if it's a close one, it's going to be, there's nerves. I've had kids that gassed. I've seen kids that gas that are not gassers in that round. That just the nerves, the pressure, everything. You just have your body just gives out because everything. So that's Chase Leach, who was a state champ. He in the take round a couple years ago. He against Beck, he gassed, and that's the last thing I'd ever say Chase Leach ever does is gas. And he just gassed, just too much nerves. He knew it was a big match and kind of just overhyped himself and just had a energy dump. So 126, Chase Yant Braden Bowles over Chase Yant in the finals, 8-0. Yant over Brody, Eli Brody. Brody beat Matthew Baylor from Milan, 4-1 in the ticket round.
Dang, Jason Lee said
Uh,
he said he heard you.
I'm sorry, Jason. You'll like me tomorrow, though. You'll like me tomorrow, I promise. Mike convinced me of something, so you'll like me tomorrow. So just I'll tell you that much.
So it sounds like you're gonna like me by default. Now those guys, like, not everyone I guess is a Mike Reiser fan, but the Garrett people, man, we partied at the hotel. We had a good time.
I don't have any Garrett. None of the Garrett people like me anymore. You check those comments.
That's my crew, man. Rogers punched the ticket again by Tech Fall. Vols over Kemp, 8-5, real talented freshman. I knew that was going to be a pretty good one. Vols over Rogers 6-2 in the semis. The Ant over Brody 10-7, and then Vols 8-0 in the finals. Brody 4-0. Four pretty good 26s there. You got medalist, qualifier, medalist. So
yeah, that should be a good one. 132. Go ahead and you can
start
talk about 132. I haven't talked too much.
Colin Crowley over North Central's Jordan Franklin 5-0. Thrine, we kind of talked about Thrine. Tech Fall 22-6. Beats Jack Richardson 19-4. Tech Fall beats Crowley 19-4. Tech Fall and 13-4 major over Donald Bowie, who we had been wrestling real well. We've seen him at the Al Smith. Beat Landon Hawkins and Eddie Goss. So real good weekend for Thrine. I think. Not that I don't think he's small, but he definitely looked a little undersized wrestling against Braylon Reynolds and Donovan Allen at Carnahan. I know that they said he was walking around pretty light. 32 might be the spot for him. I mean, it might not be the, like obviously there's a guy going for 4 there, but I think for him, that's a pretty good weight class.
Yeah.
Going down. My guy Carter Nickham loses 7-3 in the ticket round to Colin Troyer, Franklin County. So Franklin County getting 2 punch tickets, and Bowie over Simpson by fall. Bowie 10-2 over Troyer. Troyer 2-1 over Crowley in the third place match. So pretty good weight class there at 132. Also, you got 2 top 5 guys going at it.
Yeah, and as you said, trying to wrestle real well, the right time. He got tough route to get to Hockaday, but I'm not gonna count someone like Thrine out. He has a title, and he had a pretty big upset as a freshman.
Yeah,
he's not afraid to go after guys that he's not supposed to beat.
Yeah, I think he definitely wrestles a style where he shines the bright when the lights are the brightest, and I would be shocked. Obviously, Jake's going for 3. He's never lost it in the state tournament. At the state finals, but he lost the state tournament. He just hasn't lost at the state finals. No one expected Thrine to beat Frazier. Frazier was pretty good as I got a funny text from my brother. Frazier obviously had been an Ironman placer that year, was going to Virginia Tech, where Revan Dickman's committed to go. And I don't think anybody, maybe, you get to see all the pickups. Not a lot of people had Thrine over Frazier.
No.
And then, last year he just ran into Jake in the semis. So he got Jake in the semis again. So he's really tough, man. Wrestled Donovan Allen, incredibly tough. Real good match at Carnahan. Braylon Reynolds, not as tough. That wasn't a close match.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was one of those matches that are like, all right, maybe we need to move down a weight. 138, Gunnar Butt over Simon Kuhn by fall. He can't post that one on the board. Joe hit it. Joe think it's a spam. Cade Zuber coming out as a 4 over Gage Sherwood of Cambridge City Lincoln by fall. And then you got the major in the ticker round over Alex Hyman. So congratulations, Cade Zuber. When you're coming 4 out of your regional, you're probably a lot of guys kind of punched their ticket for 4s this year.
Yeah. 2 in 1 weight class in Fort Wayne. Yeah. Terry Easley having a real good year for Warren Central, punches his ticket there. Jack Davis over Stephen Hunter from Lawrence North. Bud over Davis in the finals, easily over Zuber. So watch out for being a 4 for against Zuber.
Yep. Bud wrestling real well. Good hair. Coming to the state finals, rolling a hot streak.
Yep. 144.
Another 4/1 at that top bracket. Jacob Mayo, Beach Grove over Landon Walden, but then ran into Dakota Willensby in the ticket round. Willensby 11-3. Bryce Doss broke that 4/1 streak right there.
Yep. First Fountain Central wrestler to qualify for state in a while, about 9-10 years. So good for them.
Doss with a major over real tough Landon Vaught. Landon Vaught had Caden Rogers in overtime that first match, and then Doss with the 11-0 win. Doss really good. I'm sure we're about to talk about that. Bustamante over Stevenson. Two pretty highly ranked guys, 4-0. That's a good one for Bustamante. I'm sure that was a make or break in a lot of people's pick'ems. And then Alex Pateco over Jake Saez,
I believe.
And then Bustamante over Pateco, 13-1. And Doss 19-6 over Willesby. And Doss 10-1 major in the final. And then Pateco over Willesby 10-0. So pretty good weight there also.
Yeah. 150. Aaron Durham over Naden Houston, top quarter and 10-4. Durham runs that to the finals. Tyler Lavin over Jesse Franklin. Good match there. Well, not really good match. Supposed to be a good matchup. Lavin, yeah. 55 seconds. Silas Foster, tech, pin, tech. So broke the streak of techs. Looking really good. Hank Fennessy from Zionsville over Gabrielle McName from Chittard. So Fennessy over Lavin for third. Foster's wrestling real well. Gonna look to finish his career under the lights. He's pretty tough.
Yeah, real tough. I thought that was a strong move for him, moving down 57. 57 is pretty stacked. Mm-hmm. And it's like one of those weights. I think you could probably pick 5 guys and make an argument that there's probably 5 guys that could win it at 57 and 6 if Silas Foster's there. And going down to 150, I think was a smart move because I think he had a really good day at the semi-state. I knew that they felt that they could win the semi-state at 50, and 57 was a little deeper at the semi-state.
Yes. You got 157. Christian Arbery runs it to the finals. Got a forfeit. Fall 2-1 over Jacob Weaver. And that tech fall in the finals. Weaver qualifying. Second time he's been there. Joins his brother. Mylan Caleb Wilburn punches his ticket as a senior. And then Cameron Mikesell over Daniel Adams. And Mikesell run it to the finals there. So, yeah, Arbery's pretty tough. Wrestling real well. Put points on the board. And, I mean, he's the one that can slow it down if he needs to. He can also put some points on the board. So, kind of going to be an interesting matchup at 157 for anyone out there.
Yeah, and I don't think he's good upper body. I mean, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
165, top quarter bracket. You had Michael Kane by fall. Jacob Ross over James Dozier, 5-4. Jacob Ross having a really good year for Rossville. I'm sure it doesn't hurt that he's kind of in between. Jacob Cole, I'm sorry.
From Rossville.
Yeah, sorry. Cole Ross, my boy. Evansville Mater Day shout out. Back in the day.
Cole Ross on the bracket.
Yeah, they did. And then Michael Major over Mason Thompson. Major, real good. Tech fall, 5-0 in the final. And then down at the bottom, we got Jackson Prater of East Central, 33-7 sophomore. Not on the watch list, not in my state rankings. So congratulations, Jackson Prater, for breaking up a perfect bracket. Lost a major in the semis there. Ross, Vills, Jacob Cole almost did it twice. 3 times. Tech fall in the 3rd and 4th place match.
175, pretty good. 175-pound weight class. Waylon Kressel, tech, fall. Oh yeah, 15-10 match. So decided to put some points on the board. It's good to see him score some points there. Gave up 2 takedowns or no, he got 2 takedowns in the third period. Gave up he got a takedown. It was 4-4 going to the second period. Gave up 2 takedowns to Smith. So it's kind of
That's really
Smith can
tough.
be dangerous. So that's going to be interesting to see um, how Smith does. They could definitely meet in the finals again this week. Smith looked good. Tech fall. Uh, MJ Morton over Eli Turner from Westfield.
That was a
10-8.
4-over-1 there too.
Yep. Man, not good there. Lots of 4-over-1s there.
Yeah,
Why did
Cresto was not a 4-over-1. Brody Wingate of East Central over Jensen Schrock over of Anderson High School. Ran into the real tough Cresto in the semis. Both a minute fall there for those guys. And Morton and 9-4 over Wingate in the third and fourth place match. Cresto's pretty good. He's pretty good. Xavier Smith's really good too. So both those guys really tough. 190 top quarter bracket. Kyle Harden 44-second fall, 2-minute 39-second fall, 1-minute 39-second fall, then a 10-9 in the finals. Go to the finals over there, and then you had over here you had Christopher Corals, Sierra Gadawai's real good match, 20-13. That's a lot of points. You put on, you know,
Keeping that scoreboard operator busy.
Oh yeah. You think they had that one has to like flip over, and then it's like now you just got
Oh
30
Jesus!
Uh,
Freestyle ones.
Yep. And then Godwise by fall in the semis, 10-9 with Harden in the final. That's really good. I heard Leo Mercado a late ad, not a bad pickup for the officiating crew out there. Heard they had to like make some moves. I heard they added 2 heavy hitters on the rush.
That's pretty good heavy hitter. I've seen him on TV with some big matches, big college matches. So that's good.
I forgot who the other one was. They told me that they had to pick up 2. They're both really good, and one was Leo, and I'm not sure the other official was, but it was 2 guys that I would love to have officiating matches.
Yep, Harden over White at in the semifinals by pin. That's pretty impressive. Harden's one that you can't sleep on at 190.
No.
I think 190 just has some. It's going to be a matchup, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. I think there's got a lot of matchups that very intriguing. I'd love to run this bracket what we have now, shake up the bracket a little bit and see, and then run it again and see what happens. Because I think there's some matchups there that are very intriguing. That I'm like, I don't think he matches up very well with him. I think if his path to the finals would be this. I mean, we were talking about it Saturday night, and it's like, man, these could be some interesting matches here. And
I think it's like a lot of stylistic, like different styles.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to watch, see how things shake out there. Unranked, unprofiled until this week, Gray Riley of Roncalli, coached by Sean Richardson.
Sean Richardson.
Yeah. Sean.
got Danny Bell.
Sean Richardson. He is defeating Tante and Shutley now. He is the king of the mountain in the south side. So we got to put him on top. We will never forget that he is the coach at Roncalli.
113. We covered that one last night, my friend. We got away from doing predictions. So
we don't want to anger too many people. We have too many people we like to keep.
Yeah. Too many people throwing shade if you pick against their guys. We don't like it. It hurts our feelings. We're sensitive, or I'm sensitive.
Yep. 215. No Weaver. Not getting paid by the hour. Will he tech fall his way through the state series?
Man, he was really good last year, and he just keeps improving. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, I just remember seeing like last year, hearing some stuff about him, and like there, some people at Newcastle were like, dude, he's looking real good, and we knew he was good. And then when he beat Gunner, was like, oh, you start seeing him at state. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be interesting, especially because the team race is going to be real close. So,
Julian Burgett 1-0 over Colin Wetzel. That's a real tight one, obviously. Then he runs into the buzzsaw that's known as Noah Weaver. He is amazing. And he seems like a really nice kid too. So
Yes, very nice kid, good family. And luckily, they have about 20 more kids that we get to watch, and I think they're going to be all fairly good at wrestling.
the Newcastle trend here: Antonio Cisneros Rodriguez, a 4-over-1 over Cale Metzger in the first round, and then he runs into a real tough Kane McLaughlin. McLaughlin by major, and then unranked Andy Warren. He was unranked, right?
Yeah.
He was in the rankings a lot of the year. Then I know he had missed some matches. Unranked Andy Warren, ultra talented, really good wrestling family over Evan Lawhead, 5-3. Also, Evan Lawhead from a pretty good wrestling family.
Mm-hmm.
So Warren over McLaughlin 4-1. Weaver by tech fall, and then by tech fall. Burgett over McLaughlin 4-2. Yeah, I agree with that, Bill. He's a really good wrestler. He's probably a better kid.
Yep.
So I think Purdue's got a good one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see because he keeps improving, and yeah, that's gonna be good to see him at Purdue. 285. This is just one bracket, just crumble it up and throw it away because
no way.
got busted, man.
I talked to this guy, the guy that told me. He said he's not. I told you so, guy, but I was like, but you did tell me so.
Hey, when you're wrong, if you own it, you own it. I mean,
that's the truth, man. I'm never like someone that's gonna like. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I was incredibly wrong about Jakari Markey, and dude ran into a semi-state championship. I think when he punched his ticket, I was like, oh man, Gil was right, and then he runs it and wins it. Yep. But dude, incredible coaches. Warren Central has an incredible staff. I mean, at one point they had Gwiz in there, Chico, Guy Henson wrestling with them every day. Like you get guys that are state medalists,
world medalists.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Chico's state medalist. Guy Henson's a state medalist, and those guys are in. I'm not sure like the level that Gwiz is in there, but I'm sure like his perspective is pretty good.
Yeah.
But you got like a super talent kid that's talented that works hard, and you get some guys in there to train with them and kind of show them some ins and outs. I think that's huge. You see it at Brownsburg with the heavyweight whisperer. He played football. Kyle Harden's dad, Kenny Harden. They played football at UIndy together. We found that out. If you have a guy that understands like how to wrestle that weight class and like what's successful there, you're going to have a lot of success. And I think, Warren Central's had a lot of success at heavyweight. Obviously Brownsburg, has guys in the finals or at the state finals every year over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, heavyweight is a different, I mean, all the weight classes have different things that can help you succeed. Heavyweight 215 are always tough.
Brownsburg didn't have a heavyweight at state last year. Sorry. Yes. But for the majority of the decade.
Yeah, they've had some pretty good guys there. So, yeah.
There was probably a year the Beatles that weren't number one, but they probably owned the decade,
Yeah. Yes. So, Markey over Glessing in the finals. It was Joe Maverick qualified out of the top part. William Glessing over Logan Mendoza. Markey over Apple. Blevins over Amberger, who's a returning state qualifier.
Markey's closest match was his first match right out the gate, 4-3. Dance McNeil.
Yeah.
Dace.
So, yeah, that's going to be and then Markey runs it in the finals. Maverick ends up fourth, and that's going to set up a pretty interesting match on Friday night. So,
in your team semi-state champions, we knew it was going to be close. Ended up pulling away. I mean, obviously Markey showing out 129-96. Warren Central, pride of the East Side.
Yeah. So Markey unranked, he scored 26 points. It's a real close team race as we predicted. They kind of pulled away with a unranked guy. That's why the power poll does not consider unranked guys. But yeah, so we're gonna go to what we're gonna rank today. Let's see if I can get this.
I think I'm always gonna. That's how I'm gonna hitting the Al Smith on the mic when we get Warren Central guys. I'm saying from Warren Central representing the East Side of Indianapolis.
Let's see.
If Calumet guys were there, I'd say from Calumet representing Black Oak.
I gotta stop sharing, I guess. Not share my screen.
I mean,
What are we gonna rank today?
We're gonna rank our favorite all-time state finals matches.
Okay. Do we?
And there's off top we
we're-
have one unanimous one. So we're gonna rank 6 of them. But me and Joe said this one's out of the running because it's probably one of the best matches in Indiana history.
There we go. You're there. There we are. Yes. This one. I mean, everyone knows probably gonna know what this one is, but
it just got streamed again on Flow.
The ultimate number one, Red versus Lee. Easy. That's the easiest one possible.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take that one off the list because it's so good. It's one of those rare matches that lived up to the hype. Like there's a lot of hype. I think we missed an opportunity that year. I thought we should have handed out gold T-shirts if you were for Lee and red IndianaMat T-shirts if you're for Red. Outside, they made a Big Ten Network program about it. Like Flo ran it like last week, and people are still Chan Red, one of the most polarizing wrestlers in Indiana history. I think like it's good that he has such a presence that everyone has an opinion of what he does, right?
Yeah. And you talk to the crazy thing is you talk to him and it's like he's pretty well grounded, nice kid. I've talked to him a few times and pretty well mannered and everything. It's not what you would expect, and kind of just did some things that some people didn't like. I mean, celebrating and stuff. Just go celebrate, have fun. I mean, it doesn't bother me one bit.
Even though we do, what is it like? We don't do shaved ice no more. What is it? Kona ice. I'll take that.
Kona ice. Kelly. Ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Man, I remember I won a shaved ice off my boy Kyle Ayersman one time. Someone bet against Kyle Ayersman. I think they took Paul Beck. I took Kyle Ayersman. Went up there, got a classic, red, blue, and green shaved ice because Kyle Ayersman was very basic. So we wanted to go with the basic. So I like the base shaved ice. I like the bet tacos at East Chicago. Take a lot of bets, folks.
Food bets.
Me, I take cash bets too. I'm over here a bookie. So
okay. Do you
my
want to start? We did. I'm not gonna take any of Mike's. We did confer beforehand. Dude, so you're gonna go your number 5.
I should have went first yesterday. I'm so disappointed that I didn't because I did have Escobedo
region love,
and I caught strays on social media all day. So that's true. That's in life. Winners focus on winning, and losers focus on winners. That's the
my guy.
Dude, that's 100% true.
Yep. So
my number 5. My number 5, pretty good match. I remember where I was sitting. I remember who I was with. Joe Lee, Tommy Cash, final. Joe Lee was up. Tommy Cash puts him to his back, wins his second state title by fall. I was extra excited for that. I like the Cash family. Real good people. Tom and Brandy, good people. That was one that I think everyone was crowning Joe Lee the champ. I think they were talking about him being the next 4-timer. They probably weren't aware that he was only going to wrestle for 3 years of high school, but great match there.
Yep. My number 5 is Sean McMurray over Eric Galka. Real good match. McMurray got him. McMurray was a sophomore, kind of really wasn't expected to win. Crazy ending, and 4-3 score doesn't tell. I mean, McMurray just kind of came out and did what he needed to do and kind of proved that, kind of set the tone that he's going to be a force the next few years, and he was.
What was
someone in the semifinals? He was a force.
There was, we could have had that one too. Matt Kelly's right. I forgot about that one. That's a good one.
That could have been an all-timer also. And these are all finals matches, by the way, state finals final. So that
was kind of Sean's start of his run, winning 3 titles at Portage. real close ending. I don't remember what was the call. Is it Sean got a reversal at the end, or Golka was close to reversal at the end? I know they like Sean celebrated. They went to the table. He had to wait, and they got to celebrate again.
Yeah,
But
I can't remember what it was, but it was close at the end, and
good rivalry that year too.
yeah, yep. So great one. What's your number 4?
My number 4, someone already said it in the comments. I mean, not always the greatest match, but I mean, just a moment. Like, you know where you're at when it happened. Jesse Mendez, Matthew Kuntz. Jesse's kind of going to work. It's dead quiet in there. Like, I think everyone's kind of like, oh, here's Jesse doing Jesse's thing. Matthew Kuntz comes up, rips a lefty headlock, place erupts. Like, the whole building just, like, I felt like starts shaking. Mendez wills himself off his back. We seen him that night. He had a huge like bruise on the back of his neck. He was with Matthew Kuntz. They were like hanging out at the hotel. Obviously, they were super close. Jesse went on to win the title, win 4. But just kind of a cool thing. 2 buddies going out there and Matthew Kuntz throwing it to the win, man.
Yep. My number 4. 2021 Brody Bauman versus Robert Major, 15-11. Just a back and forth. They were throwing each other. A little bit quieter in there because there weren't as many people. But I mean, if that place was packed, that would have been a crazy loud match. And those two just were letting it fly. A lot of fun. I mean, that's how Bauman wrestles. He's not bad about letting it fly. So yeah, that was a great match. Lots of scoring, lots of throwing, and guys laying it on the line.
My number 3. This is a war. Like, these dudes put up points. Darren Elkins, Charlie Pingleton. That was a lot of points. Those guys were taking each other down, cutting each other. Darren obviously went on to fight in the UFC. I think Charlie ended up passing away at a pretty young age. But that night, those dudes put on a show.
Yep, that was. I mean, if that wasn't a foreshadowing of Elkins' UFC career, just straight up grinder. The dude is a grinder, and just a great guy. Always, I know he chimes in on IndianaMat, so hopefully he sees this, and I'm sure he'll comment. But yeah, if that wasn't foreshadowing, I don't know what it was.
2004, yeah, that was the first year being killed together too.
Who's Daryl Elkins? Is that his brother or what?
No, Ricky's his brother.
Oh, but that is says Daryl Elkins. Oh, yeah.
That's how they say it back in South Haven.
Yeah, Daryl. So my number 3 is going to be Pat Day versus Cody Johnson. 12-10. Those two were leaving it on the mat. Day was on his back at the end, and he thought he lost. He wasn't celebrating until he got his hand where he's like, "I won," and they just went back and forth. The chest bump before the match, the uber controversy on the board of, oh, they did a chest bump and that's disrespectful or whatever, and all that kind of stuff. That was pre-IndianaMat, but that was fun. That was right after Day hit a headlock in the semis in 15 seconds for a fall. It was fun to watch. He didn't care about winning or losing. He was going to put on a show. That just a great match. Guys getting after it. And that's kind of why you remember that match.
My number 2, we talked about it earlier. Calumet undefeated under the lights. AJ Fowler over Lawson Aiken of Brownsburg. Last second takedown to a fall. Pretty awesome match. Know the Fowler family pretty well. Those guys are a good family. That was just one of those ones I remember sitting front row. I think I was still doing media at Region Sports at the point. They have I think they ran it today. Is like was the state like this week, like back then?
Yeah, because the state was like last year. Today was the finals. So
yeah, so they ran that today on like the memory. An amazing match, amazing finish for AJ and the Fowler family.
Yeah, that was a great. I just remember him going over to jumping into Watkins' arms and Watkins' glasses falling
Yeah.
over, and Watkins didn't care. He was cloud nine. So yeah. Let's see. My number two. That's it. Reese Humphrey over Andrew Howe. Really good match there. Howe comes in undefeated as a freshman versus a senior. Humphrey had two titles, and Humphrey said, kind of big brothered him, said, not your time yet, buddy, and hit a headlock
Yeah.
for 5. And so I'm still the king of the jungle right now. And really, when you go down now, two legends, two are great guys giving back sport coaching and having a lot of success with that. So I did try getting them to get a rematch at U.S. Nationals, about 4 or 5 years ago. Howe was all for it. Humphrey was not. So I think Humphrey doesn't want to defend his title.
Humphrey, real good state finals. Lost to Angel as a freshman Friday night. Beat a real tough Andrew Howe as a senior and under the lights. I mean, that might have been Howe's closest match overall in high school.
Yeah. Yep. So you're number one.
I took a cheat code. There's no like rules to the rankings here. I'm gonna go my first one. Kyle Ayersman, Lake Central. Brendan Campbell, Newcastle. Campbell was up big. He had just came back. He had just came back from appendicitis, where he was a guy that everyone was picking to be a state champ as a freshman. Ayersman just put on a monster comeback all the way back. And then the next year, Campbell back under the lights against another region wrestler, Paul Petrov. Similar situation. Paul Petrov goes down big, just keeps chipping away, and then ends up winning a huge score. Campbell back-to-back years losing where he was winning. Paul Petrov, I forget like the exact quote in the NWI Times. I'm sure you can find it, where he knew when he was down, like he remembered Kyle Ayersman storming back, and he knew he could do it too. And so,
two great matches. Pretty epic matches, and those are pretty crazy. So yeah, definitely, you gotta love your region guys. So my number one homer pick, as we said, these are our picks. This is Joe Caprino's picks. Reed Muncie over Murray Omadande. Obviously, I had a front row seat for that one, so that one's a special place. So say what you want. If you're upset about it, be upset. I don't care, because that's a cool match for me. This is Joe's list. It's not IndianaMat's objective list of stuff. So, but it was a great match too. Those two got after it. But both of them had their legs up in the air pretty high, and neither scored a couple times, and some great scrambles for big guys. Omadande, man, I just remember watching like some of his, like we were watching some video beforehand, and it's like, man, didn't have a consistent lead leg, kind of moved very differently. And
but I did say he was good when you asked me.
Yes, he was good. Just hard to like. I mean, honestly, we would have rather had was it the South Dearborn kid? I kind of would have rather had him in the finals, to be honest, because he was kind of a freak athlete. But I think there were strategies we could have had that I'd be more confident with. If someone that's just a freak athlete and we don't know if anything's coming or when it's coming, and he almost got a takedown at the end, that was almost very heartbreaking, but great match. And unfortunately, Omadande did not wrestle his senior year.
I would like to see him and Leighton Jones. I think that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
He graduated mid-year and went to Purdue to play football, and I don't know if he's still on the team or what.
I think he's still playing football. I'm pretty certain. I know he's been. I mean, I haven't paid that much attention to Purdue football, but yeah. So great match. Yep, Cosgrove McGill. That was one that we were talking about.
And we kind of talked about in the future we might do a rivals ranking. That Cosgrove McGill is probably going to be on there.
Yes, yeah.
A couple of the guys that we talked about on the pre-show of what we thought we were going to be in there are going to be in that rival conversation.
Yep. So a lot of good matches. I'll post a graphic tomorrow. you guys can talk about your favorite matches. And you have your own personal list, and I'm
I'm
sure.
sure. I'm sure. TJ McMurray in here. I got to see TJ this weekend. He graced us with his presence at the East Chicago Semi-State. I'd be willing to bet those McMurray State Championships, Kiros and Golka, and I guess the Cathedral kid. I can't think of his name right now. Probably.
Oh shoot! I see his face. I just can't
Yeah,
think. I
no,
can't
real
see
good
his name.
football player.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's probably one of those ones. He probably had a special place in his heart for those.
Yep. I'm sure those three matches are probably on his top five. Galka, Kiros, and Tyler Willis.
Tyler Willis,
There you
yeah,
go.
it caught me right at the last second.
Yeah.
Tyler Willis.
I was looking it up. I cheated. So we're gonna talk the rest of the brackets.
150 and up, right?
Yep. We're gonna talk about the professor's protege.
We're gonna run. Could Cosgrove and McGill run it back in the old man's division? I think Eric could probably ref that one.
Yeah, yes, he'd ref it.
I think Eric's had a pretty significant surgery this summer. It's really cool to see him back out there and moving really well. And he had an incredible call in a dual meet this past weekend or past week. So if you want to go watch Northern Iowa, Iowa State. You can see our guy out there representing the state.
Getting in some heated battles. There's some clips going on. I want to watch. I didn't watch that one, and definitely looks like it was a crazy duel. Packed house. Iowa fans are crazy. Iowa wrestling fans and stuff. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Nice. So that one definitely is number one for McMurray. That's good stuff. So Sadis thinks a lot of things are hilarious, Michael. So anyway, Foster versus Wyatt Cooksey. That should be a good one. Cooksey's tough. That's not, I'm sure the professor, when he saw the draw, would rather have someone else, but got to beat them all to get there. That should be a good one. Dallas Davison versus Michael Ortega. So you could have a 2-3 in the quarters on Saturday morning. Professor will have his protege ready and primed. Hopefully they get some pictures of him. So I heard that he doesn't like pictures being taken.
No paparazzi, sir.
So yeah.
Yeah. I think Foster really tough. We talked about him coming down a weight class. 39-4. He took 2 losses at Ironman. And then who was the other loss to? Arbery and Day. Staples. So in the Staples one, I know Mr. Morgan explained to me that he felt like it was some controversy. I'm not going to say poor officiating. I'm going to say he was some points were being mixed around. So.
And they put too many points on the board, and Morgan couldn't get his shoes off fast enough.
And then Wyatt Cooksey, we talked about Matt Smith. I don't think coming down, Silas Foster I thought he was a pretty good size 57. He's probably a huge 50. Wyatt Cooksey's a pretty strong kid there too. He got a lot of big moves. That could be an interesting one Friday night. Michael Ortega looked really good. Real tight match with Marlon Kirksey. His 4 losses are up at 57 also. I believe 2 of them were Staples. I'm not sure his other 2 are all. Or one's Marlone, and I don't know who the other one would be. 2 to Staples, 1 to Marlone, and had to be someone at Al Smith.
There's a website.
Well, maybe he lost to Staples at Al Smith too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me bring those rankings up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so that could be a good quarterfinal match. Moving on down, Seth Syro. We talked about him when we were doing the brackets for Evansville. Probably wrestling as good as anyone in the state right now. 36-1. His 11 loss to Michael Ortega. He'll have number 13 Tyler Lavin of Indianapolis Cathedral Friday night. I think that'll be a tough match. Tyler Lavin, 25-11. Don't let that fool you, man. He's really tough. I think that's a matchup where he's a warrior. So we'll see how that goes. Next quarter bracket down there, number 14 in the state, Tyjon Newell of Crown Point. I heard Eric Newell, his dad, might be making an appearance at the hangar. Got to get him back on the mic. One of our guests from last year, pretty well spoken.
very good guest.
Uh,
We could bring him on in as a special
that's what he keeps
analyst
saying.
sometime.
He's ready, man. He said he's not coming out unless he was promoted. I'm promoting him right now. Come out. Meet M. Scholar, former youth rankings guy, and he'll have returning state champion Easton Doster, ranked number 1 in the state. I don't. Eric's pretty good too. I mean, he was out of Cornell. He did really well. So I don't know why we would say that. Yeah, Cosgrove's an animal. Eric's probably pretty good too. But
D1 wrestler.
Yeah, Breslin had a better program. I guess that's a shot at Purdue, right?
Yeah, I mean, top 5 program pretty much every year he's there.
He
had a partner.
He might have had a little bit stronger career if they didn't recruit this pretty good guy. Probably would have been the best guy at Purdue in the history too. Kyle Dake. So that kind of sidetracks your career, right? So back to the bracket. Tough one for Tyjon Friday night. Got the defending state champ, coming off his first loss of the season. Probably not going to be super happy. He already wrestles kind of edgy. I'm sure after a loss, he's going to be real edgy. Tegan's pretty mean too, but that's a tough one. Sarah Doster, 4-1 in the quarters. That could be pretty interesting if those guys both get there.
Top 4 guys all in the top half of the bracket. So the bottom half guys are all like, yes.
Next.
Ortega lost to Staples. I assume that
Trikoff.
Was Trikoff. And Arbery, Stitz, and Kirksey.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So going down, you got Lincoln Carter, 1 loss to Doster, powered by the Butler McDonald's. He has Zach Kenny. They finally spelled his name right, because I triple checked because he didn't have an E. It was an EY for the first couple of weeks.
Shout out to Coach Stoika getting 2 for Griffith. Panthers back at the state finals.
Yep, that's good to see. That should be a good Friday night match. Then you have Alex Smith, 48-1, 46 pins, 45 in the first period. It's Aaron Durham. Durham better be ready for a war because Smith's going to come at you. So that could be a real good match. Durham's tough. He's scrappy, and you look at. I mean, we say this over and over, but there's about 10 programs that if they come in with 10 losses, don't overlook them, because they're with some of their better wrestlers. They've been battle tested all year long. They don't care. I mean, they're like, what's another loss? It's one of those things that coming in with that many losses is pretty good.
Yeah, I think Durham's real tough. He's been in the rankings on the watch list last couple of years. That'd be a good one Friday night, but you got Smith and probably like Carter, both once beaten wrestlers, possibly in the quarterfinals.
Yep. And then the bottom corner bracket, Hank Fennessy versus Parker Reynolds, Marlone Kirksey versus Brayson Shortgen. I think they switched this one up because Shortgen was the champion. Or was Kirksey wasn't the champion?
Yeah, Kirksey was the champion.
Yeah, Kirksey was the champion, yes. They messed my brackets up a little bit. So Kirksey, Shortgen, Reynolds, Fennessy. So pretty interesting quarter bracket, 22, 5, 6,
John Goldberg said Alex the British Bulldog Smith, like Davey Boy Smith. Yeah, tough one for Fennessy there, drawing Parker Reynolds, number 5 in the state. Real crazy. They kind of sent me a text. He was in a car accident, but came out pretty unscathed. His car looked pretty beat up. Just kind of like talking with Josh, it just kind of puts stuff in perspective. I think this is one of those weights where anyone could win. I think, but you got to wrestle one at a time. And I'm happy that Parker's all right. He's a good kid, man. I think he's had a tough career with injuries and different things. And you just don't like to see that kind of stuff happen to good people or bad people. You don't want to see it happen to anyone. Marlone's wrestling really well. Bronson Shorgan. So Marlone went down to 44 for the Al Smith. Kind of like felt it out and decided to eat and lift, and I think 150 is a better fit for him.
Yep. Going up to 157. You got freshman undefeated MJ Matthew Staples versus Asher Ratliff, number 1 and number 11. Ratliff is one you can't overlook. Returning, he has a state medal. And then you got the battle of two brothers that have brothers in the tournament. Number 9, Brock Hagwood, the lesser of the Hagwood brothers, and Jacob Weaver from Rossville. I haven't met the Weaver brothers enough to judge either of them, but I'm sure they're both nice kids. But definitely Brody Hagwood, way nicer than Brock.
That's a really good quarter bracket. Staples coming in number 1, undefeated, looked really good at East Chicago. Won his championship, did like a little like jump heel click. It was, you don't see that a lot.
Your teacher, Matt?
I don't know. I didn't ask. I thought it was my boy Dan Luther. My boy Dan Luther.
It's more of a Luther separate celebration.
Dan Luther, the coach of the celebrations. That's for real, my guy. They had to come over and clean up some blood, bloody lip. I said, "Come on, man, you pull out some chapstick. Do you let him use your chapstick?" So yeah, that's a tough one. Asher Ratliff was semi-state champ last year. Probably not the 4 they wanted, but I mean, like you said earlier, you got to beat them all. So it didn't get an easy path for number 1 Matthew Staples, but I like calling him MJ. I like MJ better, right?
Yeah, MJ has a little bit more. As we were like last night, Kevin Whitehead said, I like the initials MJ Staples.
Yeah, I think that one's like tough because even when we're announcing it, like obviously they put Matthew on there, but you got to hit MJ Staples a little tougher, right? Weaver and Hagwood, that'd be a good one. I think stylistically that's gonna be a really good match. So real good quarter bracket there. You got 1, 11, 10, and 9, and 11 has the only medal in the group.
Yeah, Weaver had a real good IPO. Had some good ones there.
Beat Silas Foster there.
Yep. So let's see. He did not. I was just gonna see if he wrestled Hagwood. I know Hagwoods were there, but man, he had a tough. Man, he had some good wrestlers. He wrestled there. He lost to Staples 11-2. Beat Liam Kelly. Beat Mason Day.
Good for a kid, Michael. Yep. What are you talking about? If everyone doesn't get to claim all the Crown Point kids that are from different areas, Crown Point can't claim Crown Point kids that went to different schools. I think that's the rule, right? I don't think Maryville.
It's the old region way of like, oh, Mishawaka's good. Oh yeah, we'll claim them as a region.
We never claim Mishawaka as a region. I mean, New Prairie is kind of like even on that outskirt of the region. I'm just saying, if Hobart can't claim Gavin Lewis, then Crown Point can't claim Matthew Staples.
Yes. Yeah, pretty valid point.
I guess we could do a whole list of that.
Yep. You're not wrong.
And they're not the only ones. Okay. So before Bill texts me, they're not the only team that does it. I think Brownsburg's team could probably be done the same way.
Yes. Mike fires sprays to everywhere. He's not just one.
I might have to get real security, man.
Yeah, that's the only reason we're bringing Tony this week. This
big guns coming down, man.
Yeah, is his son Reese in training now to be security in training?
Okay, yeah, I'm sure. Okay, I'll send you 7 texts. Michael Patrick, you can text me. Get your number from my brother, and I'll send you 7 texts of how guys were getting in to the unopened enrollment Crown Point School District. I can send you some addresses from the IHSA pamphlet I got also. Dan Dakich is lying. Crown Point's dead region. That's the hub. That's the hub of the region.
It's a capital
next
of the region.
Quarter bracket down. You got Silas Stitz having an incredible year, 37-3. 2 of his losses were also at the Ironman, number 3 in the state. And he'll have Anthony Bustamante, not ranked. Bustamante, a real good semi-state to punch his ticket. So then you'll have the bottom quarter bracket, Cameron Mikesell, also not ranked from Western Boone, a senior, 35-5, and Maverick Dubal of Adams Central, number 12 in the state, 33-5. So Mikesell, Dubal will be a really good one. And Stitz wrestling really well, obviously. Tech day in the finals.
Yeah. He lost 8-6 to Staples earlier in the season. So
good quarter bracket. Claiming them now?
Oh, man. they got to split custody now
Dang,
between three ways.
dang. Yeah. I mean, when you're a real nice kid like that, everyone wants to, tell.
Wait, we're gonna probably find another team that he jumped on for a duels, and
I heard it
it's
was the
gonna be
Garrett
like
Railroaders.
it might be. I mean, Nick did do. I mean, there is the transitive property. Nick did go to New
Ooh,
Prairie, so
that's probably true.
uh, yeah.
He's a New
So
Prairie kid.
next bottom half bracket, Christian Arbery Warren, Central number 4 in the state. He speaking of the Railroaders, Brian Barrett Senior from Garrett. Barrett from Garrett, having a real good year. Tough kid. I alluded to it on the show. He has came over from Sydney, Ohio, last year. It's just kind of a crazy situation, family life, and he is living with the Fieldens now and just getting things in order life wise and academics. Sounds like he's interested in wrestling in
Nice.
college. So if you're a college coach, check the kid out. He'll kind of be a sneaky pickup if you are
I think we have a
interested.
pretty good college
But
following
anyway,
on IndianaMat.
yep. So check that kid out. He's nice kid, works hard, and probably has a pretty high ceiling. Next next match, Deacon Dressler, number 8, Gibson Southern, sophomore. Been a while since we've seen Gibson Southern at the state finals. He has a tough zebra. Brant Beck took his first loss
Coming
to
down a weight
Staples
class.
last week. Yeah, he was a third last year, so that's another really good quarter
Yeah.
bracket.
Arbery 4, Beck 2, Dressler 8. Pretty tough there. How many times the Browns transfer? Oh man, you're gonna get me an angry email from them too, man. I can't go into that. I think three, maybe 4, 3. I know that they transferred from Lowell to Center Grove and they got eligibility, and my kid didn't. So, um, so moving down, yeah, my kid transferred too. So as I'm doing that, so we don't have to do a signing day at Lowell and Andran. Moving down,
Yeah.
undefeated from Cowan, Jackson Bradley, number 5 in the state, loves to eat. He's 32-0. He's going to have number 17, Caleb Wilburn of Milan, 41-4. In the bottom quarter bracket there, you got Griffin Van Tichel of Crown Point, number 7 in the state. Probably one of the better safeties in the field. And he'll have Mason Day, number 6, 6-7. These guys like to wrestle really crazy tight matches that are really exciting. I really do believe if there's any path for Crown Point to pull a Brownsburg on Crown Point that they did last year, they're going to need this match. So before everyone says, oh man, like Brownsburg got in the bag, we were all saying the same thing on this same show last week, I guess this week today, last year, and you need 2 guys to go down on Friday night, a couple guys are losing the quarters. That's what Eric Spikes, I'm trying to say the same thing. I ran the 41 time at the combine. I should probably get drafted.
Yeah.
So really good bracket there. The champs really good coming out of the semi-states. Jackson Bradley, Christian Arbery, Silas Stitz, and Matthew Staples. I think if you seeded it up, that's pretty close to how it should be seeded, right?
Yeah. So good weight class. Excited to see that.
Couple crazy matches in there too. MJ Staples over Silas Stitz at the Al Smith in the finals was a really good match. And Stitz and Arbery in the semis at the Al Smith. Arbery didn't have a lot of luck at the Al Smith with some craziness. He ended up losing a close one there. So if we can get that back under the lights, similar match, it might be exciting.
Yep. So 165, starting off with Adrian Palat, returning state runner-up. He has Carson Godinez from Homestead. Jacob Cole. Yep. Jacob Cole, number 17 from Rossville. He'll have Jesus Lopez of Terre Haute South, number 10. Obviously, Palat's going to be a heavy favorite in that quarter bracket.
Man, Palat's just a grinder, man. Works hard, real hardworking kid. I don't even think he might have been fifth at middle school state as a 8th grader. Has really worked himself into being like one of the best guys in the state. He's going to go to Purdue. Man, he just works incredibly hard. Some of the stuff I see him training with Evan Stanley. Those guys go pretty hard. So I think it's one of those things like it shows hard work pays off, right? Right coaching, work hard, do all the right stuff, and then you put yourself in a good spot. Now that doesn't guarantee you anything. Carson Godinez might go out there hit a spladle.
Yeah.
Jacob Cole of Rossville, not Cole Ross of Jacobsville. He's number 17.
Jacobville.
And they'll have Jesus Lopez. Jesus Lopez made the bump up middle of the year right at the state tournament from 57 to 65. I thought it was a pretty good move for him, semi-state wise. That'll be a good one Friday night.
Yep. Yeah, good quarter bracket there. Then you going down, you got Gavin Davis from the Belmont Braves, Israel Sonnet, number 15 from Hanover Central, Griffin Larson from Avon, wrestling really well right now. He'll have a tough Michael Kane from Hamilton Heights, returning state qualifier. So could have a 5 and a 7. I kind of want to see that Davis Kane match. Davis is pretty intense, heavy hands, a lot of movement, likes to score lots of points. I haven't seen Kane really wrestle, but I'm sure they're very similar styles. So that could be a fun match. Could be a nice 15 to 10 match if it gets that far. So I'm sure both are kind of real physical wrestlers. That's how those Huskies are. They're Iron Bear trained, so could be a cool quarterfinal match Saturday morning.
I think Gavin Davis has been right in the mix every single year. It's good to hear that he's healthy this year because I think that's kind of been his Achilles heel. So a healthy Gavin Davis is always going to be a really tough Gavin Davis. Michael Kane, 2 losses, 1 to Kincaid and 1 in the semi-state finals to Michael Major. So no slouches there. Obviously, Kincaid is out for the injury bug that went around. You're right. That could be a real tough one. But Griffin Larson and Israel Sanat, I don't think you can sleep on those 2 juniors. Those guys are wrestling really well. Sanat didn't look as good at the semi-state as he did at the regional. I thought the regional he looked really good. In the semi-state, it was one of those things that he didn't have his best day, and you end up 4th and you draw 1. It's tough.
Yeah, sometimes, and this is something we haven't really touched on. I know I've had some kids that this is a tough time of year. You have your best matches. You're trying to be prepared, and sicknesses are going through schools. And my wife said that like 6 kids were out from Rocco's class today. So that's always something that can come hit. I've had a kid that should have gone to state, and he was just barely could walk, went out there, put it on the line, should have won. Had to fall early, but just ran out of gas. We literally had to carry him off the mat in the ticket round.
Yeah, I heard a kid that we covered last night was out of school for the first part of the week because he's sick, and they're trying to get the fluids back in him and get him up to speed. Yeah, I mean, that's a game that I like to play that me and my brother or me and Kim play every year. Is like you're going to see someone that's just happy to be there. Mm-hmm. And it's not going to be a guy that's a 4. Like you'll say, oh man, like I don't know who this kid is, but he's just happy to be in the parade, and his goal was to be a state qualifier. Like if you're a state qualifier, like go out there and get a medal, but some guys are just happy to be in the parade, right?
Yeah.
Next quarter bracket. Another guy, he has to be close to 100 pins also, right?
Yeah.
Number 2 in the state, Evan Rowdy Bush. He'll have Jackson Prater of East Central, sophomore. Bottom quarter bracket there, you have number 22, Chance McCullough, and unranked Ben Clark of the Clark gang, I guess. I don't know.
Clark clan.
How many people do you need a clan? They're not as big as they used to be. The twins are pretty big at Buffalo. Joe's looking thin, man. Joe looks like, getting in shape, eating better, he said. So, guys, hide your ladies. No, I'm not saying that about Joe. I don't want Mrs. Clark to say that. I shouldn't say that. So, he's a good dude. Rowdy Bush has to be close to 100 falls in his career.
Yeah.
Really good match with him and Palat at Al Smith. Kind of a crazy finish there. Late stall call ties it. Goes to OT. Palat ends up winning. I mean, it didn't seem like the Bloomington South coaches were thrilled with the call. I wasn't against it. I don't know, man. I feel like if you're not trying to like he wasn't trying to advance his position, you leave yourself open and get that call. I'm sure he's gonna adjust and go at it.
Yep. But yeah, he's a tough wrestler. Heading to the Army West Point. So there's a rumor that their coach will be there. So if they're more looking for juniors, for what I've gathered. So if you're interested in heading to that area. Their coach will be there. So
It's
junior,
serving our country.
yes, if you're a junior and you're kind of interested, probably send me a message and I'll make sure I point them in the right way. But
Yes.
anyway, Hell Jackson Prater, Ben Clark. Anyway, we'll go down last quarter bracket. Michael Major, number 3, gets looking for revenge from his brother, Camden Bauman from Modern Day, Tegan Klaus, 2-time state qualifier, and Leonardo Santiago from Penn.
Michael Major, we saw him at Carnahan. He was one of the guys that got added in. Really tough. Had a really good day there. Camden Bauman's, fourth of the semi-state, wrestling as good as anybody. Like, he's avenged a lot of losses. That'd be an exciting one Friday night. 2 guys with a lot of state experience in the coaching staffs there with Schaefer and Coach P. Moving down, Tegan Klaus, his second time there. Maggart, very high on Leonardo Santiago. Said, he's a guy that, runs their Bible studies and things like that, and just a real good kid. And, when he's wrestling, when he's on, he can wrestle with anybody in the state. Him and Palat was really tough. Palat just sets a crazy pace, but they were heavy hands, attacks. It was a good match. Just Adrian kind of wore him out towards the third, and not that he has a low gas tank, but Adrian has that Andrew Howe, not quite Andrew Howe gas tank. That's a world class gas tank, but maybe like Andrew Howe light, maybe Eric Howe. No.
Eric Howe, jeez. 175. Speaking of a good gas tank, Waylon Kressel, Warren Central, 43-2. Both his losses were at the Ironman. Brennan Whitcar of Elkhart, number 20 in the state. Then you got Terry Time. Landon Terry, number 7. He'll have number 16, Hayden Whiteneck. Good quarter bracket, all guys with numbers beside their names. So, but yeah, that number 1 guy's pretty good.
Hayden Whiteneck said his brother's bigger than yours.
Yeah.
He's a big boy, man. Hunter was there. If you guys were still wondering, he's still pretty big.
You don't just lose that bigness.
Dude, no, even if he did, he'd still be tall. Yeah. Hayden wrestled really well at East Chicago. That's a tough one. Landon Terry is really tough. Obviously, coming down 2 weight classes. Even if you weren't that weight, you were holding your own at a 2 weight classes up. Waylon Kressel is incredibly good. I felt bad at the Al Smith. He went out there and put in work, and then he's getting some running in. I had to give him his finalist sheet, and I felt like I was breaking up his workout. I felt terrible. Nice kid. Didn't even tell me to get out of here and crumple it up and throw it back at me. So
that's good. Or snap you down, go behind about 3 or 4 times.
I'm so thankful for that, honestly. He's really good. Trying to run it back for a 3rd title in a row.
Yep. And it's always fun to see the people try to figure out, is he really a junior? How's he have 3 state medals already? And he wrestled as an 8th grader in North Dakota. So yeah. That is what I was going to put in there.
Let us know, right?
Yes. Thank you. Good job, Joe. I figured it out.
He is a beast, man. He's really good.
That was on my list of random notes for the media guide. I had some things I wanted to add. So thank you. I'm glad I figured that out.
He was really good last year, and he's improved even this year. He looks even better. So moving on down, you have number 6, Coy Bender, 40-3. He'll have Wyatt Davis of Rochester, number 10. Wyatt Davis making the incredible jump from a 113 state qualifier as a freshman to the 175-pound weight class. And they'll have in the next quarter bracket, they have not ranked Brody Wingate of East Central. Coach Mark told me this is the guy to look out for. I didn't take good advice.
You don't take very good advice out of Newcastle, it seems.
I know, man. What am I doing? He did tell me, and he was right. And he has the best fastball in the bracket, 100%. I can guarantee it. No, I can't guarantee. I don't know. Maybe some of these guys throw real hard. Number 5, Cabe Stebbins of Delta. That'll be a good quarter bracket. Bender and Davis Friday night's going to be really good. Obviously, Rochester's going to be looking to get a medal there. Bender's going to be looking to get his 2nd medal. And then you have a couple medalists possibly meeting up in the quarterfinals Saturday morning.
I like this quarter bracket where you have Landon Terry drop from 215 to 175, and Wyatt Davis has gone up from 113 to 175.
I
I
think
just want to see them wrestle, just to kind of see the.
Hayden Whiteneck missed last year for an injury, and I believe he was 130 the last time he stepped on the mat for New Prairie.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty significant jump too. These guys.
Ironic that he gained 40 pounds after his brother left the house, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, funny, there's some food here.
I think Brant Beck feels the same way, but he lost weight.
Yeah.
Coming on down, we got another guy that dropped a weight class. His dad can coach football pretty good at a high level. Vinny Freeman, number 3 in the state, 34-2. His 2 losses up at 190. And he'll have Tyson Barrow of North Posey, number 17. I believe his dad was a state runner-up back in the day.
Yeah.
And on the bottom quarterback, you have Dominic Dunn of DeKalb. He's a senior. He's 38-8. And he'll have Xavier Smith, a junior, 39-4, Fargo All-American, number 2 in the state. We kind of talked about it when we were covering Newcastle. Ultra talented. Had a super exciting match with the Carnahan. If you go back and look at the placement matches, some big moves, some throws, some lat drops. He's not afraid to get after it. I like that. Him and Freeman possibly minus any, Barrow and Dunn coming out and shocking, their ranking, I guess. That could be a good quarter bracket match.
Yep. Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois in football, right?
Yep.
You know who their Northern Illinois coach is?
I can see his face on his name.
Thomas Hammock, 2-time Indiana State placer from Bishop Luers.
There we go.
Yeah.
Is Jalen Smith the best player to ever come out of Bishop Luers?
Might have been. They've had quite a few NFL players. So
James Barrow was 4th in 2000, I think. All right, John Goldsberry bringing it.
There's a website, John.
And a handsome fella bringing the knowledge too. Okay, we appreciate you.
Yeah. So so that should be a real good quarter bracket. North Posey, there it is. James Barrow, was he 4th? Who was 2nd there? Oh, I had it as 4th. I looked at it as 2nd. Yep, you're right. Damn it.
Nice job, John.
Oh, well.
He beat the website. He beat the machine.
Yes. Yeah. I just looked at it because it went champion 4th place because they haven't had a 2nd or 3rd. Come on, North Posey. Let's get a 2nd and 3rd here.
You're like a regular John Connor, man.
I mean, he is. I mean, he is my doppelganger. So
he's gonna have to stop. What is it, Skynet? Got to stop Skynet from making a Terminator, bro. All right. So moving on down, you have number 19, MJ Morton of Roncalli.
Heritage Hills beat Lures at state this year. They're my boss is a Lures guy, and his son also works there, who also coached there. I told him that I was recruiting Goldsberry to come up to Carroll, and he's like, "Nah, we saw enough of him. We saw way too much of him earlier this year." We're not talking Dwanger. Dwanger and Lures hate each other. Come on, Zach.
So we have number 19, MJ Morton. He's a junior. He's 33-8 for Roncalli. And then at one, number 12, Jake Thrash of Homestead, the Fighting Andy Oberlines. It sounds like, what was it?
Yeah, the Oberlines, yes.
The Oberlines, senior, 40-4. That'll be a good Friday night match. And the winner of that will have the winner of Elijah Carter, not ranked in the state. Shout out to the Hammond Central Wolves, first state qualifier for Coach Kevin Bursley there.
Yep.
And you'll have Julian Weems, the pinning machine from Center Grove, 38-2 on the season, number 4 in the state. He doesn't get paid by the hour.
No, he does not. He likes to pin people. He'll take you down. And I know because the scouting report's pretty tough. He's going to hit a crossface, cradle, and then he's getting off the mat because that's what he does.
That's what he does.
And you can watch. I guarantee you watch those videos of his. That's what he does.
Yeah, so if you watch 10 of his matches, you'll see at least one crossface cradle.
Oh yes.
All right,
a safe one. 190.
Coming down to 198, one of the most diverse weight classes. I think it's a pretty good one. You have a lot of intrigue in a lot of different spots. Starting off at the top part of the quarter bracket, you have number 4 in the state. He's a freshman. He's 36-4 from Crown Point, Cesar Salas. He's going to have not ranked, Sixth in the semi-state, Austin Parks of Northridge. He's a senior. He's 36-4. In the bottom part of that quarter bracket, this is going to be one of those matches on a Friday night that you're going to want to see. Michael, so don't leave early. Like, don't try to get to the hangar to get to the pre-show because we're still going to be there watching wrestling. Michael White of Lawrence North, he's a 41-1 junior. He's number 3 in the state. He'll have Sam Howard of Boonville, 38-3, number 9 in the state, 3-9 Friday night. If we redid the rankings right now, I think that they would be Sam Howard would be a little bit higher than that, probably. So winner of that match possibly gets Salas. Salas looked really good Saturday. He's looked really good. Made it to day 2 of the Ironman as a freshman. Tulsa champ as an 8th grader. Pretty good.
Yeah, that's going to be a great quarter bracket. And as we said earlier, the matchups here just are very intriguing. There's a lot of different styles. And like I said, I'd love to shake this up again and see how it plays out because you could have a couple different champs just based on styles. And Michael White's as dangerous as they come. He's only been wrestling for 3 years, and that's one of the scariest things. Is that
he has really good coaches too.
Yeah, and he placed at Fargo. You placed at Fargo, right? Yeah.
Sam Howard placed at Fargo too, right?
Yeah. So you have about 2 guys with Fargo credentials going on a Friday night, which is pretty cool for the state of Indiana. And they're both young. They're both coming back for another year at least.
And Salas, you got a freshman, a junior, a sophomore, and a senior. You got all 4 of them covered.
Yep.
Next quarter bracket, we got Noah Terry, the bigger Terry. Grandma Terry. Was it Grandma Terry's in there? Mama Terry?
I think Kelly's grandma.
One of the representatives of the Terry family. I don't know which one of the Terry brothers is older.
The most vocal representative.
The most vocal representative of the Terry family. I'm not sure which one's older, but he's bigger. He's number 7 in the state, 32-3. He has Sear Godwise of Perry Meridian, number 12 in the state. Junior, he's 30-6. That'd be a really good Friday night match. And then the top part of that quarter bracket, you have number 2 in the state, undefeated, 47-0 from Maconaquah, senior Ethan Farnell. And not in the rankings, the lowest guy ranked in the semi-state to qualify for the state finals out of East Chicago, Alessio Retzloff of Penn, a junior. He's 26-12. Just kind of doing what Harper does, man. Just like guys that, just come out and they'll get through 10 losses, go down there and make some noise. That's the Brad Harper way when he's back in the country, it sounds like.
Yep.
When he's not doing like the star, what is it, the Sugar Star, or on the Tug of War, or what else is in the Squid Games?
I have no clue. I've never watched it.
You don't like Korean television, eh? Okay.
No, not really.
My thing. You don't want to know who wins the Squid Games?
Well, I will when he's on it. Well, I got to figure out when he's going to be on it.
The show, not the actual, I don't think they're killing people. Obviously, he's back.
Yeah, well, possibly. Maybe they just cloned him.
Could be. Nah, that was Brad all the way. That's a really good quarter bracket. I think 190 is one of the coolest weights. Moving on down, we got number 5 ranked in the state. He's a junior. He's 37-2. His 2 losses, Cesar Salas, Kyle Harder, Indianapolis Cathedral. Sounds like he's a pretty good football player. I heard it several times during the bracket reveal show. He'll have number 10 in the state, Colin McMahon of Columbus East, a sophomore, 35-7. Did they hit each other at the Al Smith?
Yep, twice. And Harden won both of them.
Harden with 2 of those 7 losses. Moving on down, we have Xavier Palacios. I was informed last week that at number 8, he is underrated. So he'll have a chance to prove his ranking wrong, which I'd be happy for. I like the Belmont Braves. I go have me a hams with my boys. They could tell me. And he'll have Zach Johansson trained, or Frankie Porsche trained, or Eric Keith trained, or Brian Wesley trained, or I don't know. There's a bunch of coaches over there. Aiden Granger of Hobart, junior, 27-8. Was able to get in the lineup. I know they had some injuries. Alex Tatum was a freshman state qualifier. Tatum will be back next year. He just wrestled freshman sophomore state qualifier. And Granger, a junior, he'll be back. So Hobart got some pretty good big guys. Number 20 in the state. That'll be a good one. I don't believe they hit. Did they hit it Al Smith? I know Granger was in the lineup.
No.
Yeah. Coach Johansson threw a little bit of shade. I sent a video to Joe. I'm on the mic. I said, you know what? He said, tell Joe. I said, cool. I got this thing. It's called a cell phone. I can video you, and you can tell him and send it to him.
Yes.
And then he
No,
did.
they did not wrestle unless Granger didn't have a profile at that time and they didn't put it in. I'll double
All
check.
four of those guys were at the Al Smith. Kind of speaks to the depth of that tournament.
Yeah, yeah, they're all in the same quarter bracket. That's crazy. Let's double check. I do not believe they met.
Moving on down. Bottom quarter bracket there, you have Dylan Crawl of East Noble, not ranked. He's a senior. He's 31-10. He'll open up with Devin Kendricks of New Prairie, number 6 in the state. You might remember Devin Kendricks from his old stomping grounds, Mount Vernon. He's at
variety.
Yeah, he's a Newcastle. He used to make his way through Newcastle. Now he's making his way through East Chicago. He's a senior. He's 37-4. He's really tough. He has a pretty offensive style, which is really cool. Good hand fighter. He was also at the Al Smith. And then the top part of that quarter bracket, you have Gray Wiley of Roncalli. No ranking next to him. I didn't have him ranked. Howie's is tuned into the Roncalli. What are they? They're not the Rebels anymore. What are they now?
Royals.
Why did they change from Rebels?
Because Rebels are
Confederates.
Yes, I guess.
I thought it was named after a Billy Idol song. How wrong was that? Huh. The things you learn.
Yeah, so, learn something every day.
Yeah, so I believe he's a Roncalli Royal, and I believe Howie was a Roncalli Rebel, right?
Yes. So he's still a Rebel.
Still a Rebel. You know, he'll be there Friday night at the hangar. You can come see Howie.
Yep.
He'll have number 1 in the state, number 1 in the semi-state, 32-3. Gunnar Henry of Brownsburg. All his losses came at 2 of his losses came at Ironman 1 to Kressel. Super good human being. I think better than he is a wrestler. He's a really good person. He rides bulls. So if you look at his track wrestling profile, he doesn't have a wrestling picture. He has him out there. Does he ride bulls? Does he ride horses? What does he ride?
He rides bulls and horses, I guess.
Good for him, man. That looks hard.
Yeah.
I seen 8 seconds. It looked tough for Lane Frost. Not something I'm trying to do.
Didn't end very well for him.
It didn't. I mean, got that good Garth Brooks song though.
Yeah. So good weight class, a lot of good matches. Kind of curious to see how the matchups go. And so we are getting it on 215. Starting up top, you got Travis Hankey, Northridge, undefeated senior, returning state placer. He has Talon Gardner of Winnemac. He ain't afraid of a headlock. He
I don't know if it's
headlock. He's not afraid to hit.
I think he's just out there throwing it to the wind. Big, he's strong, he's fast, he's big.
Winnemac Warriors. Julian Burgett, Fisher's number 14 versus Jet Goldsberry, one of the best athletes in the state. That's pretty much an understatement there. I don't know if he can dribble a basketball, but he'd probably be awesome.
I bet he could. I bet. I mean, maybe not. He probably knocked down some threes, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's a freshman, sophomore state champion. That's a interesting one on Friday night. Julia Burgett's really tough. He was at the Carnahan also. That top part, I mean, Hankey 38-0, and he's wrestled some really tough guys. He's bumped up, got some matches at heavyweight. It's the Winnemac way. I blame Fair Oaks Farms in the farmhouse over there. Tomahawk T-bones. I almost sent that to you. I'm gonna send you that picture, and then that'll be a tough one. So Hankey undefeated. That could be an interesting one with Goldsberry and Hankey in the quarter bracket. Hankey looks like he's pretty big and strong in his Indiana.
I'm pretty positive he plays football too. Probably more lineman, not the quarterback. Not very often you see a quarterback having success in actually wrestling and then being pretty good.
You think Jet's going to wear a red jersey out there? You're not supposed to hit the quarterbacks and let him know?
Nah, he's going to get after it.
That was a bad joke. That didn't land well. Let's edit that out on the rebound.
Yes. Yeah, Goldsberry beat Cesar South last year at Folk South State. He beat the Clan Guard at heavyweight, beat Caesar who's at 190. Pretty good day there.
Yeah, he had a tough draw last year at the semi-state.
Beat McMahon and Reading at Folk South State or at Frostoff State. Semi-state, he lost to McConnell 4-0. End up running it to the finals. Yeah. So, they wrestled at Spartan Classic finals where Hanky won 5-2.
There we go.
Forgot about that.
Thank you, Jeremy Bain.
Yes.
Represent.
So, should be a good quarter bracket, and should be interesting there. Then you go down, number 5, Jaden Bartosek from Hanover Central, Austin Ringheisen from Mechaniqua, Kellen Fleur, sophomore from Franklin Community, the Fighting Tantes, and Andy Warren versus Perry Meridian. So Tante, going against his former protege coach, so that should be an interesting one.
I think when he was an 8th grader at ISWA. I mean, I don't know. I know Michael Pasternack's been catching some of these strays. I'm gonna say this as nice as I can. Some of those guys take a gray shirt year before they go into high school, and they have to wrestle cadets before they're even in high school.
So they are these same age, literally. They both will turn 17 sometime this year.
One's a junior, one's a freshman.
So Jet's a little young for his grade.
So it wasn't at freshman sophomore state. It was at ISWA. Yes. So Fleur and Andy Warren. I mean, Shetley and Tante, those guys know each other pretty well.
Yes, they do.
So it's going to be like one of those things. They're both going to be trying to throw headlocks and hit each other in the shoulder. No, I don't know if they both throw headlocks like that. I'm sure they have some big moves in their arsenal. That could be a really good one. Ringheisen, 4 of his losses, most of his losses are in the state tournament. Bartosek, his only 2 losses to Abad, I believe. No, he had 1 to Reading, 1 to Abad. 1 was at the regional, 1 was in the duel. So that's a pretty good spot for those guys. That's a tough quarter bracket right there.
Yep. 3 of
11, 15, 16
losses are to Hoover, and then 1 is to Hanky. So not bad losses. So go down, Mr. Brewer. Go ahead.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Number 2 in the state, Caden Brewer, Brownsburg, senior, 33-3, returning state medalist. He has Kane McLaughlin of Zionsville, senior, 35-8. He's number 20. In the bottom part of that quarter bracket, you have Hartley Hoover of North Miami. He's number 13. And you have Austin Reading, a junior from Crown Point. He's number 15, 13, 20, and 2. Brewer wrestling really well. I don't know if Jason Miller going over to Zionsville is going to tell him all the Brownsburg secrets and try to get Kane McLaughlin to pull out that Friday night upset of one of his old boys from the stomping grounds. I'm just joking. Caden's incredibly good. Hartley Hoover, Austin Reading will be an interesting one Friday night. 42-2, 23-9. Reading wrestles a pretty tough schedule. I know I made the post on the board about Reading's mom passing away a couple weeks ago. Pretty sad story, but Austin's wrestling really well right now. So that'll be a good one. Hartley Hoover's also wrestling really well this entire season.
So North Miami has 2 wrestlers. Can you tell me when the last time they had a state placer was?
I don't feel like it was super long ago. I'm going to go circa 2011.
Not even close. 95.
Oh, I wouldn't have got that. What was the number 1 song in 1995, you think?
I don't know. You know the last time Eastside's the only other one in the night. Well, there's 3 schools without a placer at state. Hammond Central, Madison Grant, Switzerland County. Then you have North Miami at 95, 1996, Derek Miller for Eastside is their last placer. So Lincoln Carter trying to follow in the great Derek Miller. Derek Miller was under the lights twice. So,
all right, I'm gonna find out what the number 1 song in 1995 was.
I'll get on that bottom quarter bracket. I'll talk about Noah Weaver.
What do you think it's gonna be? Boys to Men. Ooh, it is Boys to Men on Bended Knee. Let's go. February 95. That was a Hail Mary. I got that. That was pretty good.
Star for the day.
Yeah.
Noah Weaver.
Little wins, my friend.
45-1. He his only losses at the Iron Man. He'll have Ethan Schrainer, Tell City. Tough road for him. Number 7 in the state. Malachi Evans, number 18 from Penn. He'll have Derek Morrison from Wawasee. I do not believe they saw each other at the No,
I think they looked at it, but I don't think they did either. Derek Morrison, an Al Smith finalist.
yes,
Malachi Evans, an Al Smith placer.
no, they
Uh,
did not.
Ethan Schrainer had a really good year. He's had some really big wins. I believe he had a win over Jet Goldsberry at some point, right?
Schrainer did,
Yeah.
possibly. What does he rank?
There's a guy in the comments. He can let us know.
Yep, number 7. Yes, he did. Pinned him in 307. That was early in the season. Jet was still, his arm was still a little sore from throwing some passes, winning
Don't
the
know those
state title.
touchdowns.
Yep.
Noah Weaver, yeah.
Fine.
If you're Schreier, that's not what the draw you want. Returning state champion. Not that you're going to get a great draw when you're the number 4 coming out, but Noah Weaver is probably one of the most sound guys in the state, and that's not the one you're going to want to get. He's been tech falling guys. I'd assume he's going to try to continue that trend.
Yep. Last weight class, the big guys. Saving the best for last. This is another weight class I'm excited because I can see this is another one of the styles are going to clash, and I have no clue what's going to happen. This is where pick'ems are going to be won right here. If you can somehow get all 8 of these guys and get them in somewhat sort of their general positions, it'll help you in pick'ems. So Caleb Evans, Joe Maverick, first round. They wrestled at the Shamrock Slam, where it was an ultimate tiebreaker match or double overtime. It was overtime at least, where Evans won. Then you got Brandon Brewer, Northview, number 23 versus number 1 Lucas Zaborski. So that could be a real good one. That's a real good quarter bracket. 1-4, 14, 23.
Maverick and Evans Friday night's gonna be a really good one. Obviously, they've already wrestled as tight, and now I got a shaved ice bet on it. So, or Kona ice bet on it. So I'm gonna have to cheer against my guy Andy Oberlin the entire weekend now.
Don't do that to me,
man. I love shaved ice. I can't help it. I just can't bring myself to pay for it.
$45 for a cup of ice with some syrup on it.
Yep. So Lucas Zaborski, really tough. Just had some battles with Cameron Hazlett, who we're going to talk about further down the bracket. 24-2. His other loss was to one of his buddies from Cleveland, Tennessee, in the finals of the Carnahan. He's also a pretty good football player. He'll be playing at Ball State, 2-way player for the Bulldogs. I'm sure a lot of these guys are probably pretty good football players. Yeah. Caleb for the W.
Yep.
Write it down.
I know Maverick's a pretty good football
player. Got it down, man. We'll shut the whole thing down. We're going to talk about it. Shane said Caleb for the W. Who do you got picking for who's your number 1 lock? Moving on down. We have unranked, the only unranked semi-state champion from Warren Central, junior, 26-5, Jakari Markey. And he'll have unranked Garrett Railroader, Jacob Reynolds, junior, 31-11, the only quarter bracket in the entire state with 2 unranked wrestlers meeting Friday night, meaning we'll have at least one person without a ranking next to their name getting a state medal. Congratulations, fellas.
Yes. Yeah, that's a very intriguing matchup. Reynolds finds a way to put people on their back and gets the fall. So Markey wrestling really well right now. The scariest thing is a kid like that's just starting to figure things out, wrestling with confidence. That is a scary thing at this time of year. And he's ready to bust some more brackets.
Moving on down, you got 2 guys that can move pretty well. Number 12, Declan Guard, coming up from 175. He's a junior. He's 41-5 on the season. And he'll wrestle number 15 in the state. He's lost a couple times in the last couple of weeks to Max Forrester. Keenan Mowry Shields of South Putnam. He's a sophomore. He's 24-4. That could be a pretty good Friday night matchup.
He's not good to practice.
I think he's talking about Markey. Those guys, that'll be a good one Friday night. Some guys that can put up some points at the heavyweight. I mean, you could be looking at like a nice little, 10-8, all takedowns, cuts, releases. So, in the words of my guy Danny Bell, the turn and burns.
They wrestled at the Mooresville Classic.
Ooh, what was the result?
4-2 sudden victory for Mr. Guard. So,
so it wasn't as many points as I thought.
Mowry Shields is a big kid.
Yeah.
So it should be a good match. Obviously overtime, first time. They're familiar with each other. Myra Shields is wants to win the one where you get a cool medal.
I mean, Declan Guard, man, he got a little bit of swag going on. He's a Y2CJ trained by trickle down.
Yep, the coaching tree going there, so it should be a good one.
Next
Um,
next quarter bracket, we got number 3, 38-3, Isaiah Coolman. He's a junior from Leo. He's a pretty big kid. He's also going to have Zach Blevins, a Greenfield Central, number 16, 31-6 senior. He's also a pretty big kid. Uh, the winner of that quarter bracket or that match Friday night will have the winner of Manford Osborne of North Terre Haute North, junior, 32-11, and super freshman once beaten, 36-1, number 5, Cameron Hazlett of Lowell. Someone in this chat on the side over here told me at the beginning of the year that I had Cameron Hazlett overrated. He never apologized for that comment. So he likes to tell me when I'm wrong, doesn't like to tell me when I'm right. I get it, though. It's cool. We can still be boys. He sent me a video of a guy we were talking about earlier wrestling for that club. I'm not going to say any names. But Cam's wrestling really well. Super athletic. I think anytime you get heavyweights that can do backflips and all that, I think it's going to be problems. He moves well. He's super calm in the different situations. Really nice kid on the mat. Definitely, you always see him smiling and shaking everyone's hand. So pretty impressive to see a freshman at 36-1 wrestling. Yeah, Tony Brooks is really good. Unfortunately, it looks like Tony Brooks is going to have a tough time making the lineup because Crown Point's really good up top.
And there's no place to cut down or go up to.
Yeah, I know.
Like, once you get up to one of the ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, Tony Brooks is really good though. He killed freshmen. I mean, not that he's in the bracket. He killed freshman sophomore state last year. Multiple wins over guys in here, and he just killed the qualifier. But we're talking about Cameron Hazlett. He's really good. That's going to be an interesting one with either Coolman or Blevins. Those are two pretty big heavyweights. I'm not sure. I don't get weigh-in sheets, but Cam's not a super big heavyweight.
No.
So, but he's ultra athletic. So I don't think the weights kind of really mess with them. I mean, Samborski's not a big heavyweight either. Tristan Machende is a pretty big heavyweight. Cam beat him for a ticket. Moving on down. Speaking of big heavyweights, guys that can lift weights, you got Maximus Forrester, number 2 in the state, senior. He's 34-3. He slams the weights pretty good, or at least he looks like it. I know he does. And he'll have Hobart's Luke Juris, number 18 in the state. He's 30-11. I know he's had a couple losses to Hazlett. That's an interesting Friday night matchup stylistically. I think Juris kind of an underrated heavyweight. Just, you kind of put him in there because of some of the losses he had in the semi-state. And Max is a really good heavyweight. Both those guys making their first trip to the state finals. Charles McGrant of New Haven, senior, 35-7. He's number 25 in the state. And he has William Glessing, a sophomore, 21-5 from New Palestine. He's number 19. So you got 19-25 on the bottom part of that quarter bracket. The winner's going to, that one's a pretty good one. All those guys have a ranking next to their name. You got 2, 18, 25, 19. A lot of rankings, except for one quarter bracket. A lot of guys with numbers next to their name.
Yep. Yeah. Good weight class. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top Saturday night. Obviously, should be a fun time. Team race. It's Brownsburg to lose, really. I think they're pretty solid favorites, but as we said last year, I was like, Brownsburg has a path to victory. I don't know if they can get it. It was not the path that they chose to go to victory there, but there's a path to victory for Crown Point. They have 13 guys there, which you have 13 chances to place.
I've kind of posted it on the board, and I don't know if everyone agrees with it. And I'm sure if I did the same thing last year for Brownsburg, those guys wouldn't agree with it either. It's kind of the same formula, right? Like you need 2 guys to lose Friday night. Brownsburg's been the same amount of guys. Crown Point, you got to find 2 losses, and luckily for you guys, for Crown Point, one of their guys is in one of those matches, so you kind of control your own destiny. Mm-hmm. Then you need a couple of those guys that lose in the quarters. So you need, a spot where maybe you're hitting a Brownsburg guy or not to knock those guys off, and they need one of their big guns, a guy that everyone's sure is going to win. to lose. I mean, I'm sure everyone thought Paul Clark was winning it last year. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't get to see the pick'ems results, but I bet that was an 80% plus
I think it was
pick'em.
either 0 or like 1.
And then, like and a lot of people thought Anthony Reinhardt would be under the lights. He ends up losing in the semis. He gets injured, right?
Mhm.
Those were guys that earned those number one spots that didn't, that didn't go their way. And to that, even, if they would have won one match across the board, if Reinhardt's not hurt in that third and fourth place match, I mean, not that he beats Beck, I'm not saying that, but he had beat Beck, they win. If Shepard holds on against Lavelle, he doesn't get pinned, they win. So it could be similar. It could be a
Yeah.
similar thing. We'll know Saturday night going into it if there's a shot. I think it makes for a more exciting finals, especially the way Brownsburg closes and Crown Point kind of closes. Like you would hope. I mean, maybe it could be, Simborski Max under the lights for a title. I think that puts a lot of intrigue into the tournament as a team. I mean, last year I think it was one of those things like it was like a crazy wave of momentum that like didn't feel like it stopped for Crown Point, even with some of the stoppers, right? Like
Yeah.
it was like a worst case scenario, like, and we've seen it. It's not so far out of our memory that we've seen it happen last year. And 1 year, I think Cathedral won it, and they didn't. I don't even think they had a guy in the finals, right? Or they didn't have a champ.
Yeah. Yeah. So
They
it's
just kind of beat it with the numbers.
yeah. And funny thing is Crown Point or Center Grove, sorry, has found a way the last 2 years to kind of grab the second place medal plaque, I guess, and they're just kind of slow and steady, and I think it's probably good for them. They're not really shy, but I mean, they're like, hey, we're just gonna go out there and wrestle, see what happens, and they wrestle well at state. The last few years they've really turned it on at state, and they peak at the right time. So you can't count them out. They got 9 guys there. You got nine shots, and that's
Man,
a lot. That's a lot of points.
for as good as they've been, and I'm not in the Indianapolis area. I think that was like one of the points I was trying to make today on like that rankings post. I think that'll be my rant. I'm gonna do a quick rant at the end of this. Center Grove, I don't feel like they go on there and like kind of parade around as much as some of the other teams, right? Like there's a lot of Crown Point talk, and Crown Point gets a lot of hate for that. And Brownsburg has some of the most vocal fans, not only on the Guerrilla Radio, on the page, probably the most vocal fans overall, right? But I don't really see that from Center Grove a lot. And maybe you banned all their guys.
I don't think I did. I don't know. Maybe I did.
I'm sure Coach Swain likes that those guys, those other squads are being talked about, like that they can't be beat, and they keep sneaking their way into that match and getting that trophy. And it's probably one of those things that you can create like a chip on your shoulder and say, hey, like, why aren't we being talked about? We have 9, we had 11, we have 9 guys that could probably get medals, right?
Yeah.
Daniel Brown can get a medal. Justice Thrasher can get a medal. Royce Malone has a medal. Daniel Brown's in a good spot to get a medal. Eddie Goss got some medals. Peyton Hornsby's got a tough one, but he's pretty tough. Who else? Julian Weems has a medal. Silas Stitz has a medal. And I'm missing one more. I'm sure. Who's the 9th that I'm missing? 6, 13, 20, 26, 32, 44, 57, 75.
Hornsby, Stitz, Weems. Got Weems, Stitz, Hornsby.
Did they only get 8?
Goss, Dominic, Royce, Thrasher, and Daniel Brown. Okay, I guess maybe they only have 8.
They have 8 guys that can get medals too, and the more guys you can put in the semis, I think the better chance you got. And those guys, obviously, Brownsburg's really good, and they're not going to be in the same quarter bracket as the Brownsburg's guys. That's kind of got them the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, sorry, they do have 8. My bad. But yeah, they have 8 guys that can get medals, and you get 8 guys to the Saturday. Anything can happen. We've seen momentum go crazy ways. They have some good lower weights that could kind of start things off on the right foot, and Next thing you know, they have 6 or 7 guys in the semis, and they might be in the lead. I mean, they could very well get on a roll, and next thing you know, they're in the lead and in control of their own destiny.
Yeah.
So,
And wouldn't that be some stuff, man? Like we did all this talk about CP and Brownsburg the whole year, and Center Grove beat Crown Point at the duel, and we still kind of overlook them, and then they sneak right in there, and maybe they can make a run.
Yeah, maybe Coach Swain and all them need to get some burner accounts on IndianaMat and start hyping themselves up.
I think they like living on the underground, right? And then
Yeah,
use it as a chip.
yeah,
I mean, they have a lot of guys that think they can get into the semifinals.
yeah. I mean, we can go through them, but I mean, obviously, uh, obviously Daniel
175,
Brown.
178 is the point record.
It's something like that. I think I'd have to. I closed my one window.
My rant is like I understand that like we move the rankings up to 25, and I think like the rankings gets lost. I think the meaning of the rankings gets lost on the people that are unranked that like to throw that shade about the rankings. Like it's not like a disrespectful thing. We're trying to recognize the hard work of the guys in the state. And I think that's like the biggest thing that I don't think people are looking at is that the more guys we rank at the end is to kind of hope to recognize those guys. Like, do they get through? Great. I mean, you know what would the rankings look like if we just did the top 10?
Yeah, they'd be
I
pretty
bet
darn
they'd be
good.
pretty accurate.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you took out the guys that miss weight, they'd be a lot more. I bet we're probably closer to like 90%.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, we could go through it pretty quickly.
Yeah. So like on the flip of that, like, oh yeah, like and dude, I get it, man. Like you want to diminish like they're like, oh, you rank 25, so your numbers are inflated. You're actually 70%. Like, okay, cool. We're trying to give recognition to people, but I could take away the 15 and probably just rank 10 and then it'd be pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think people. I don't know. There's some people out there that are trying to like put shade on kid and our when you told me the first time, should I rate rank 20? It's like, oh, we kind of stuck. Sometimes they like we've always done 16, but you know what? We're giving 4 more kids
Yeah.
recognition for great seasons for their work, and we've done. It's been 3 years maybe that we've done 20 pretty much the whole season, and then the past few years also we've done 25 at the end. You're like, man, we can go 25 on these. And again, we're giving accolades and showing off these kids that work hard. Give them the recognition they deserve, and more kids that get that recognition. College coaches are on this site a lot.
Yep.
A lot of people are, and it's pretty cool to see. And I know there's a lot of people that like it. Accuracy, whatever. The accuracy is pretty good. There's no other way around it, especially when we lock them. Anything that crazy happens, injuries, missing weight, upsets, everything that goes on in the state series, we have no clue what the brackets are at semi-state. Yeah, so
I think I looked at a couple things. Like I'm not gonna even pretend to say like, oh man, I seen put X school in there. Like I'm not going to the furthest parts of the state to see all those matches. So like there's guys that I'm gonna see this week. It's be the first time I see them. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen a single South Putnam match this year. Keenan Maury Shields, just result wise, I know his results are good. I haven't watched a single one of his matches.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be just as surprised to see him on Saturday as I would be anybody else. I think that like when you look at that, like you're like, I think you hit it on the nose. That's not my pick'ems. And if you go by the rankings, you're probably not going to do as good in the pick'ems because I can't move people around based on like who they wrestle and what results they have. But my pick'ems are normally north of 80%.
Yes, yeah, I think I did. I figured it out. You're 80%, 82% that this past week.
So like, and I would tell you if you look at the East Chicago semi-state rankings, which I do, I think I only missed 2 guys that were in the ticket round.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that like when we're looking for recognition for those guys, it's not a pick'ems, which I do incredibly well in. I've done incredibly well in, not like as good as some of the other guys. Obviously, those guys become pick'ems legends. I used to do a lot better when I had less information because now I gain relationships, and I feel bad for picking against my friends.
Yeah.
But I've won a couple of those pick'ems titles. I've won a couple of semi-states. Like, I think we dig into the results as much as anybody, and we try to like make it as fair and accurate representation of the state. I haven't watched a Franklin County match all year. I'm not going to lie to Cole Freeze and Callan Troyer. Like, I haven't watched a single one of those guys. I'm incredibly happy for you guys. I would tell you that I haven't got an email or a text or an instant message or anything, a private message on IndianaMat about Franklin County. If they want to fly under the radar, they got it.
Yeah.
I'm happy for those guys. I'm happy. I wasn't a guy that was ranked. Me and my brother were talking about it today, like when all that was kind of going on. He's like, do you think that you would have been a guy that you would have ranked? And I said, like, maybe early on because I was a returning semi-state guy. I lost to the number one ranked guy in the state. But, like, I took a loss pretty early that would probably have knocked me out of the rankings for sure. I bumped it up once, and, like, I think that would have knocked me down. And then definitely, like, my second loss would have knocked me out. So I wouldn't even rank myself.
Yeah. You want to rank yourself.
So,
yeah.
I think that that's like one of those things that always comes up every year, especially this time of year, where like people love to say the rankings don't matter, but the first time a ranked guy goes down, they're the first ones to run to the internet and talk trash about the rankings.
Yes.
If they don't matter, don't even talk to me about them. If you're one of those people that say the rankings don't matter, don't text me. Don't send me a message when you're like, we don't care about rankings. They don't mean anything anyways. Cool. Then don't talk to me about it. Talk to me about baseball. I'm pretty versed in baseball.
Yes.
I'll tell you a lot of baseball stuff. We'll talk about football. We could talk about art. We could talk about music. We could talk about, I just hit Boys the Men from 1995. Talk about what the 90s are like. But if you're the person that's constantly telling me you don't care about the rankings, and then the first time you don't like the rankings, you come at me real hot, like that's stupid to me. Don't waste my time. Yeah. If you like the rankings and you enjoy them and you understand that they're for recognition more than like us patting ourselves on the back, then yeah, let's talk about it, man. I love it. I love doing them. I like that they're in the magazine. I like that kids enjoy being ranked. I like that kids are coming up to me at tournaments and asking Joe to unblock them on Instagram for no reason.
It wasn't even blocked. I don't know. Someone else a week ago or whatever, a couple weeks ago said something like, "You have me blocked." I go, "No, I don't." And then I like follow them. And yeah. So anyway, yeah. No, it's. And that's the whole like point of the website is promotion of other kids and the coaches and the work that they do and cool profiles and everything so that they can get recognition for their work. Obviously, the times have changed a little bit in the last 16 years of newspapers not really doing much. That was the way we got information back in the good old days, the 90s.
Bring back Brian Waddle.
Yeah. I don't like the rankings when they're wrong. Nice. So, but we're here to promote the sport, promote the kids. That's why one reason we kind of stopped doing a little bit more predictions. You can probably figure out who we're leaning towards. Obviously, it's probably more ranking heavy, but at the same time, you can figure that out. We just don't do that just because you get too much slack. Oh, you picked our guy. And I've even seen someone saying, "Oh, you didn't give this guy any love, and you just have been overlooking." No, if you look at the resume, they had a couple losses. That's where he was. The other person was hired because they didn't have any loss. They didn't have losses.
I didn't even know Coach Cook was lurking in these comments. I watched Ironelli and Cook today, state championship match when he was a freshman. Man, how come Tom Lambert didn't hit him for stalling? Coach Cook, you were firing him off, Jason.
Yeah, I have to watch that one. So,
Jason Cook was robbed of a state title. No, I don't know if he was robbed. Nick Ironelli, I think, got 2 takedowns early, but he rode those takedowns.
I just woke up. Jeez, man, going on second shifter, man. He's been scouting, getting his guy Reed ready.
I just want to know: does Jason feel like there should have been an earlier stall warning in that state championship match a cool 25 years ago?
Yeah, I'll have to watch that one again. I did listen to that because I thought Iannarelli might be one of my names. It was on my early preliminary list. We did have there was one match that we kind of forgot about on our top state finals matches.
Ooh, I think I know what you're gonna say.
I mean, I don't want.
We had him on the pre-show, I think.
Yeah, Cameron Saquon over Jason Edward Cook. That was one of the honorable mentions. It was a last cut, so
Man, one of my least favorite matches was Jason Edward Cook over my boy Jeff Asbill in the semis of the Maryville Semi-State.
Ooh.
trying to take a Calumet kid's heart out there.
Cook has no mercy.
No mercy.
No mercy. That should be instead of Jason Edward Cook, it should be Jason No Mercy Cook. Change that for me, please. Taking hearts. So
I didn't mean to go hot on that rant. I just seen that today. I don't normally respond to that stuff, but I just felt like the flip of that. Like, we can complain about doing 25. I think it's defeating the purpose of what we're looking to do. But I think if we just did 10, it would be a lot easier.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice. I did not. He's my boy. I did not pick him to beat Nasco. That was in the old Paul Maldonado ride-in Pick'ems days. I didn't have him in the Matt Burns. Shout out to Richard J.
Rest in peace, Richard J. I remember walking around and they had the boxes with all of the pick'ems. You did pick the champion stuff. You just filled it out and hoped you won. Hoped you got a phone call, I guess. I don't know how you.
I think you got a free ticket to the state finals next year.
Yeah.
That's what I thought too. Who would have known? Who would have known?
So, I guess we will be back Friday at the hangar. The address, we'll post the graphic again. The address is a couple blocks away from Gamebridge. We're going to be live on the mic, talking all wrestling, talking off the mic also. So I don't know. We'll probably maybe go for about an hour-ish and then socialize, get some food and and drinks and whatever. So it's going to be a great weekend. I'm excited for state. We're getting down Thursday night so that I can sleep in and finally get some sleep.
He might not be wrong. That was a good group of finalists, man.
Yeah. The 99 was a good year.
Scott Maddox from Taylor.
I wrestled Scott Maddox at freestyle.
Kevin Whitehead said his school got tore down by a tornado. He had to drive 26 miles just to practice.
Yeah.
Andrew Bradbury. Man, you might have the best group of coaches going for you. You got Jason Cook, Andrew Bradbury.
Let's see, 99, Jason Cook, Bradbury, Ben Sprunger. He ended up with the title. William Campbell, Vincent Minor, Tim Maldonado, Steve Mitten, Josh Arnold, Brad Harper, legend. Nick
That was
Hardwick.
a good match. That could have been one of my favorite finals matches too.
Oh, yeah, that was a good match. I remember hearing about that. I wasn't there, but I heard about it.
I think Harper came back from a broken forearm or something, right?
Yeah, he was out most of the season. Nick Hardwick, Dale Griffin, Kevin Kemper, James Park was a pretty good wrestler for Elmhurst.
Nick Hardwick, good center for. He probably knows John Goldsberry too, right?
Yeah,
good center for the Chargers for a lot of years.
Yes, he was. So, there's some good. I was looking at these past few days. You look at in '99, there was one freshman in the finals. Some Jason the Heartbreaker Cook. There were no sophomores.
Changing the game, man.
2000. There was
Coach Cook can say maybe he did or didn't, but I believe he was drilling with Alex Sertzis at the semi-state, setting the tone for the future going forward.
Nice. John Sheets was a champ as a freshman. The only other underclassman was Escobedo, who was a runner-up. So then you had in 2001, you had Craig Mackey, Graylin Early, Weinzaffel were all sophomores, and then you had Sertzis and Maurer, and that kind of just changed the game. But looking at, if you start going in the 90s, there's no nines. 98, you had William Campbell was a sophomore.
Wrestled a pretty good guy, Stephen Bradley.
97, right? All juniors and seniors. 96, Stephen Bradley is a sophomore. Scott Hines is a freshman. And Talamontes was in the finals at 215 as a sophomore, which is pretty impressive. That's so impressive now. And then Schaefer and a couple others, but
Had a good pro career too. Now that not only did he go pro, he had like a really good pro career.
yes, really good pro career. So
in '99, Alex helped him out. So look up,
yeah.
pretty. The future is going to be bright for the region for a couple of years.
Yeah. So check out those brackets or those results there on IHSA site.
Go watch Coach Cook rocking the Kendall Crosses in the finals.
Nice. Could have had him on here for the best shoes. So, any other rants before are we going to do a rant on Friday?
I'll probably have one. I'll probably have a good one. You know, I don't know. We'll see. I'm partial to this shaved ice rant. John had a good point. There's nothing better than a shaved ice at Market Square Arena.
Kona Ice is not the same.
Kona Ice is not the same. That might be my rant. Kim used to like Ritter's. Kim like Ritter's frozen custard. They got rid of it there. We're not a fan of that either.
Alex did not help him out in 2006.
I bet, because he had to wrestle like Andre, right?
Yeah.
No, that's college. That'd have been in college.
Oh. So, so we'll have a rant maybe. We'll have a mic rant. We're going to be.
It just comes to me, guys. I'm sorry. Through the day.
Yes.
Especially this time of year when my phone's getting blown up with all these messages and calls. And Kim hates me because I can't get through a movie without taking some calls.
Yep. We'll see you this weekend, Mr. Goldsberry. Maybe we'll have some more stickers, some Goldsberry Caprino stickers.
Ooh, Handel's ice cream. I don't even know what that is, man.
Ooh, Handel's is real good.
Is that Garrett ice cream?
No, it's I think a chain. They have a couple of them here in Fort Wayne, and they're pretty good.
I don't think we have one in the region here.
Yeah, not tough enough. I don't know. They're good.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that it's not tough enough to have an ice cream chain in our.
It's the region doesn't like chain stuff. They are like mom and pops. I'll say that much. So
there's some in Fishers and Carmel. What's the closest one to us? Fort Wayne, Greenwood, South Carolina, Noblesville.
South Carolina, Noblesville.
Probably. Oh boy, it's officially you probably took it out to South Carolina. You really liked it so much.
So okay, yeah, they have some good ice cream. Anyway, we're gonna get out of here. We'll see you guys Friday all day. Everyone, good luck, safe travels. Hopefully the snow holds off. We'll see Mr. Johansson Friday and Saturday, hopefully, and see all you guys there. Be sure to come up and say hi to us.
These ice cream sandwiches.
I'm just antisocial in person, so don't take that personal. Mike's my emotional support person when we're out socializing.
Yeah, so we'll make it happen.
Yep.
Don't come and yell at me, please.
So thank you guys for joining us for another episode. We'll see you Friday.